Welcome back, everyone, for episode 70. That's 70, landmark episode of the Quick Hands Rugby League podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is. You all know that. Welcoming the boys, Arthur, George.
Hey guys, how are we?
How's everybody?
Our streak continues thanks to the bye.
Well,
Both our teams let
God.
us down. We both
Thank
got
God.
the beaten,
Which means the streak will continue because we've got the bye this
Oh,
week.
thank God.
yes,
Thank God.
yes, thank God.
well,
Thank
actually,
God.
dogs have got the Tigers, so you never know. They'll probably
Oh,
get
who
through.
knows? Who knows?
Interesting.
Who knows?
Everyone have a good week?
Yeah,
it's good.
It was great. My favourite round by far, the Anzac Anzac round. I tried to get to a game, and I went to Ari and me went to a special game actually this week, and just the whole thing, the atmosphere. I saw people that I haven't seen for years. I saw my cousin there. Again, the whole day they do it well. NRL does it well, and I just sent tingles up my spine when I hear that. Is it a bugle? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bugle?
Something like that. Yeah, but everyone was there except for the 17 Dragons players. They didn't.
Well, look,
yeah.
they missed the bus. They didn't come. They came late, but they got there eventually.
Well, I didn't get to watch my mob this week because we were out to dinner on Friday night.
We
it was on the big screen. It saved me having to turn around and look at it.
Yeah.
I hope Buddy watched that one.
The Parramatta?
The Parramatta game.
Yeah.
Let's kick off with probably not the biggest story, but Paul Kent.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't you always ask me a question, Nicola?
Of course. Where's round 8, George?
It's in the can,
In the
Nicola. In the can.
I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. I'm just getting excited talking about Paul Kent. First of all, I'd like to criticise Paul Kent. The bastard's ruined my favourite show because now he's been stood down again. We're probably going to have to put up with Gordon Tallis again.
Poor Gordon. Gordon.
We've all seen the footage. Most people have.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I didn't know he was a gymnast. I like the cartwheel he did at the end was pretty good. He's very. The Olympics are coming up. We might need him there.
Maybe.
No, that was crazy, man. That was. I think, like you said earlier, Nico, he could have stepped out of it. He didn't really have to go on with it, but it was bizarre, wasn't it?
For anyone who hasn't seen the footage, he was arguing with someone outside of a restaurant in Balmain on Saturday night, clearly intoxicated.
Yeah.
And was being pushed away and said, forget about it, it's not worth it. But he pushed the guy out of the way and chased the other guy down and started throwing punches at him before the guy threw him into a tree upside down. So, I mean, look, he's out of his depth. He's 20 years older than the other guy. And you know, he's just – what I can't understand is with everything he went through last season, he was only reinstated 2 months ago.
Exactly.
Right? To go out and do this if you're Paul Kent, look, and there's no doubt the guy probably gave him some lip or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're Paul Kent, you know that.
Yeah.
So to be out in public drunk, and the thing is, I was telling George earlier that we were at the Bayview in Gladesville a few months back. This is actually while he was serving his most recent, I don't know, suspension, but he was stood down on a Saturday night, and I left at around about 11, 12 o'clock, and my mates told me the next day that pretty much around the time that I left, Paul Kent came in, or they saw him. Apparently he was off his face. And I remember thinking, are you guys exaggerating a bit or what? You know, why would someone in that position be out in public like that, drunk? And now we've actually seen it. I'm starting to wonder if I feel sorry for the guy. Does he have a problem?
No.
Like he might have a serious issue, you know, because it's not normal. Someone who appears to be as intelligent as he is to be going out and doing something like this. I mean, he reports on players doing stupid things all the time. Everyone knows that these days, if you're in public, you're on camera. That's it. So for someone who, I wouldn't call him a celebrity, George, but a personality like that, I mean, to go and how drunk must he have been to pursue that fight when he was being pushed away? He could have just walked away. Well, it's clear on the footage, right?
It's obviously got a problem. It's twice.
And it's also clear that he can't fight.
Well, that's a separate issue.
But the alcohol takes over. You know?
Yeah, look, you're right, Nicola. He's definitely got an issue because it's twice. Last time it was nearly a whole season.
Now, he was cleared of that whole...
Yeah, cleared of it, but still...
But alcohol was involved there as well. And I don't begrudge anyone for having a drink,
nothing
right?
Nothing wrong with it.
But if you're somebody as well known as he is, you just... For people like the media, whether it's Braithen Astor, whether it's, Buzz Rothfield, he wouldn't, but anyone in that situation, they know that when they're out in public, Paul Gallen got into a fight in the pub a couple of months back.
Did he?
Yeah, you didn't hear about it?
No.
Nothing was really made of it. I think he just decked the guy, but.
Yeah.
But
you know what? It's obvious he's got a problem. Nicola, he should know better. I hope he pays the price now because he didn't last time because it got in stated straight away. Look, he beat the charge or nothing came of it, as you said, nothing came from it. But this is a little bit different. We got footage. We saw what happened.
The thing is, he could have walked away.
Exactly.
So easily.
Should have walked away.
And it was only just after, like you said, after the other incident got through. And he's done it shortly afterwards. He hasn't learned, obviously.
And dare I say, because we saw it last year, there will be so many players in the game laughing at this because he's the first. It's his job too, but he's the first one to put people on display for doing the wrong thing. And
you know what? When what happened last time, because Paul's an opinion writer, so is Buzz, but more so Paul. I thought to myself, he's treading. He's going to tread on some, on some feet here because next opinion piece he's going to write, and it's anything anywhere near what he did. Well, there's going to be a lot of knives coming back to him. So, once you're a journo like that, it's better if you want to drink. But what do we say? Do it behind closed doors. We don't care.
You boys you brought up wrestling last week. Have you guys ever watched Ric Flair wrestle? If you
love him.
You see he gets thrown. It happens. He wrestled the same match every night. He gets thrown into the corner and he flips upside down.
Oh yes. Yeah.
That's what happened to Paul Kent into the tree.
Poor Kent.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Poor Kent.
So anyway, look, I don't wish anything bad on the guy. I want him back on 360 because I enjoy having him there. But I honestly don't see him coming back from this unless something clears him some way, but the footage clearly shows him. I don't know what happened before.
Yeah, well,
that's the physical aspect. He instigated it.
He ran after it.
So you've got to be able to cop lip if you're in that position.
Can we say what we're thinking? Kenty, you're an idiot. Kenty, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Absolutely.
I wish you weren't because I enjoy you on 360, but you're an idiot.
Wouldn't you love to do a job like his? And he's just thrown it away. Like he's doing a great job, honestly. If you love the game of rugby league and you're doing that role,
it's a great job.
Why would you throw it away on some stupidity like that? I
suppose the positive for us is that it's probably highly likely that he's going to be unemployed shortly. So maybe we can offer him $25 to come and take a spot on the podcast.
I hope so.
Anyway, we'll see how the story plays out because it only broke yesterday. So the latest reports are that the other man has been charged with a fray.
Really?
Yeah, at Balmain police station. So I just don't understand, unless maybe the other guy threw a punch inside the venue that we didn't see, right? It was something that maybe, and I don't know here, but it's an assumption because this guy has been charged with an affray, with causing a fray. Maybe he threw a punch inside the venue and when they were outside, which is understandable, but at the same time, you have to remember where you are and who you are. You know what I mean? Go to the, you just can't react like that when people are filming with their phones. It's ridiculous.
It seems like he gets easily baited, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but alcohol does that, Arthur. Yeah, we all learn how to fight when we're drunk.
That's true.
So we think until you end up doing a Ric Flair into a tree upside down.
Ric Flair.
While we're on some physical stuff, so after a long time of being unnamed, we now know the Bulldogs player who's actually filed a lawsuit against the club. This might be old news for some people, but it broke, I think, last Tuesday night. So we haven't had a chance to talk about it. His name is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Jackson Tapine, is that right?
Tapine.
Tapine or something, yeah.
And what do you reckon, George? Like this...
This is Canterbury, mate.
I see both sides of the story here, right?
There's only one side. Unfortunately, there's only one side.
No, you haven't let me finish.
Okay.
I see both sides of the story here, but I think if this guy is successful, it sets a huge, dangerous precedent for the game. Absolutely, right? But on the flip side, we're not cavemen anymore, right? In any workplace, if someone even insults someone else, it becomes a HR issue. So where do you draw the line? I don't know. You know, even
Well,
it's funny because on an episode of 360 last week, they had Benny Elias and someone else on. I forget who it was. One of the older players, Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah,
Jeff Tuvey. And they were both saying the same thing. They go, in our day, you could do this, but in today's day and age, you can't do this.
Yeah, that's some actually interesting points. Actually, Tuvey, I think, had those points. Yeah, where you can't do that in the workplace these days.
Don't forget, Tuvey's an accountant. He's not an idiot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's true.
At the end of the day, in a workplace, you can't bully, period, right?
Yeah.
I understand what they've done here because that's how it's done in this particular field, you know? So I get all. That's why I said I see both sides of the point. If this guy's not tough enough to deal with it, then you shouldn't be there. On the same token, if he feels like he's being humiliated, we can't have that either. So I don't know what's right and wrong here. I'm just saying I can see both sides of it. But I do know one thing: if he's successful, that sets a real dangerous precedent for the game.
It does. That's
right. I think, So I don't know.
Nico, unfortunately, not tough. The franchises have to find a different way to get that result because the days of them doing things that they did to me, them saying things that they said to me back in the 80s, it's over.
Yeah, it is.
It's over.
It is.
Okay. You're in a corporate world. Let's break it down. Is that his work of employment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Was he what we know? Was he bullied?
From what we know, yes.
Yeah. Was he put under mental and physical pressure?
Yes.
Well, guess what? Canterbury's fucked.
Why?
Well, they've broken every rule, every workplace relation rule, and you can't get away with it because they've admitted to it. But okay, NRL will not back them up because they're in a predicament. They're in a predicament as well because then they're looking like they're supporting the wrong. Their lawyers have told them, no doubt in my mind, they've told them keep away.
Look, under Australian standards, that's a breach in any workplace, right? But
forget rugby league; it's a workplace.
Yeah, but he was also. Every club does it though.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
And where do you see the next lawsuit now?
Yeah. That's the game's biggest threat is impending lawsuits from anywhere.
You know what? There's Gus, and apparently Gus nor Serrato was there. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, Gus nor Serrato was there.
It was actually the trainer.
There was a trainer.
And he previously worked at the Roosters, and Trent Robertson came out in his defence.
He's defended
saying he's a really good person and he does his job well and all that. And
guess what? He's stuffed up.
In their defence, because it's I suppose a normal kind of practice, maybe they really didn't think they were doing anything wrong. But the other issue is we're talking about, and I'm going to get hate mail for this, how old is this guy?
23? Was it? He's a youngster.
He's a youngster. Yeah.
Okay, so he's one of those ones who grew up not keeping score.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
I'm not disagreeing.
And when the toughness part comes into it.
You know what I found out about this guy? In his junior days, he actually represented Australia in New South Wales and he was captain. So he's played at a high level too in the junior ranks. He wasn't just a guy off the street. He's actually performed at a high level in the juniors, made reps. So he's no mug.
It sounds to me like maybe they just took it a bit too far because at the end of the day,
but when you start suing a club,
I know, but
it should have been settled outside of this.
He was told,
dangerous.
from what I understand, he was told training starts at 8, which is strapping, 8 a.m. and whatever it was starts at 8:30. He arrived somewhere in between because he didn't have to strap. At the end of the day, the guy was less than half an hour late, right? Shit happens, really. Yeah. I understand discipline and all that. Don't get me wrong. Maybe they just overdid it because if what I read is true, apparently he had to get help to walk after it.
I'm sure he did.
You know what I mean? So maybe they've gone a bit too far. You think about a kid getting bullied in the school playground, that's maybe how he felt. Yeah. So I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I think I can see both sides of the argument because
there's only one right in this world. There's only one right.
You know, we grew up. I
hate it. I hate that it's right, but it's one. There's only one right.
So but did he return the next day? Apparently.
Yep.
But then he hasn't played since.
Okay. On that.
So what happened afterwards? Yeah, tell me that because they're paying him for sick leave or whatever it was. They're paying him to stay away or whatever they paid him, and then once it ran out, the sick leave entitlements or whatever, they stopped paying him.
Yeah. Look, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you that he was on the outer. They obviously didn't want him.
Apparently, they were shopping him around.
They were shopping him around. He was on the outer. They didn't want him. An opportunity came. Okay, there's no doubt the trainer got a whisper in the ear.
Yeah.
Any chance you get, it's time.
You think that was?
Yeah. Look, I know how rugby league minds work. I know how old school, and they are old school still. I know how rugby league minds work. Okay, they found the opportunity, and this is the question. Let's listen to what happened.
Yeah.
How many people did he wrestle?
Apparently, the whole squad.
The whole squad, not team. The whole squad.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, on his knees
without breaks.
Without breaks, they got 30 or 40 or 50 seconds.
It's also worth mentioning. Apparently, a lot of the players were defending him and saying, "Nah, come on." The trainer was going, "No, get on with it."
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So guess what?
The players actually feel bad about it.
If that's not workplace harassment, if that's not workplace bullying, I think there is no case. I think it's a slam dunk.
If that was me, I'd just go back after training and belt the trainer. Personally,
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he's not suing the trainer because it's not really it's the trainer.
Trainer's got nothing, but guess what? Canterbury is. I'm not saying that he's not doing it for a reason.
No, I get that, but just to your point quickly, because the trainer is employed by the club, the club is liable for their employees' actions.
Yeah. Now Canterbury had history,
which is not always fair, but I don't know if it is in this case or not.
So how many people did Canterbury get rid of last year? They were just culling people left, right, and centre.
Well,
so they were just finding reasons, and they found this. It's pretty dirty what they did too. So look, there's a lot of foul play there as well from their behalf. But this lawsuit thing has taken it too far. That's all it is. Canterbury should have just paid him out whatever he wanted.
The reason I understand that, and you obviously played footy long before I was old enough to or whatever, but that's not a shot at your age.
No.
Right, but as you know, when I was a teenager, I started doing kickboxing, which I did for 8 or 9 years, and everyone hated me because the way things worked in the gym was that whatever we did, whether it was push-ups, whether it was you name it, if someone folds, if someone doesn't make the distance, you all have to do it again.
Yeah.
That was always me. So, everyone used to look at me and go, "For fuck's sake, Nico." I go, "Hey, I'm doing my best, man." But
and it happens.
If I don't make it, everyone's got to do it again. And it's a similar type of thing. But we all understood it. There was no, I choose to be here. Now, that wasn't a place of employment. I used to pay to be there. I didn't get paid to be there. But I understand it. But I just think times have moved on. But it's a little bit caveman-ish to be doing that sort of thing, right?
If that also happened in the workplace, that manager who was involved in the bullying would be pulled over into
Absolutely.
HR, and his ass will be on the line.
Absolutely.
So that trainer, has he been stood down? Has anything happened to the trainer? Has he been spoken to? Is there a warning? You can't treat players like that, or is there anything like that? Have we heard anything in regards to that?
I've heard nothing. I mean,
maybe that's what might save Canterbury. I don't know. Maybe if they sort of discipline.
You and I are in that environment. We're in the corporate world. So we understand kind of how it works there. This is obviously very different, but falls under the same legislation.
But don't you find that weird that Canterbury didn't say anything to this guy, this trainer? Like, you think that if once they got something in the ear saying this guy's going to put us to court, wouldn't you go, you know what, guys, we need to save our ass, get the trainer in, you're gone.
It's highly likely.
And then go back to the lawyers and say, look, man, we got rid of him now.
It's highly likely that they've been working hard behind the scenes this whole time because this has been a story for a long time.
Well, Gus is a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
So, number one, I'm surprised it happened. Number two, I'm surprised he got out. Number three, I'm surprised the issue isn't over now.
Yeah, well, again, just to your point, Artie, if the club decided straight away we need to take a stance on this, then any kind of punishment to the trainer would be an admission of guilt.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Which will come back to bite them. So they probably got legal advice on that as well.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah, look, again, it's like I said, I see both sides of the story. I just don't think in this day and age, for someone who's less than half an hour late, there's probably a better way to. But, you also have to, I always say context is king, right? You also have to add context. The Bulldogs are going really well at the moment, right? At this time, they were not going well. And that's why they got rid of him. And Serraldo was trying really hard to set a new standard of toughness and everything, you know. So you have to take all that into context as well. Did the guy at any point ask the trainer, hey, man, look, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, was there any of that? Or did he just keep his mouth shut and go through the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know. It sounds like he just went through the whole thing. But you know what? There's two parts to this. I think Caribbe's gone because at the end of the day, it's a workplace. Full stop.
Yeah.
Full stop. No ifs and buts because if that happened in your work, there'll be no ifs and buts.
No, but this in our world, it's quite common. You see this but you see HR issues with people being bullied or whatever. But this is not something we've seen in rugby league, to my knowledge, as well.
Oh, look, I'm sure it happens all the time. It's happened. It's going to stop now, obviously. Okay.
Oh, I don't think there's a club that will do something like that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
After this,
I think back, and I was a little bit unique because I didn't care. Okay. But the things they made us do, and I'm just thinking specifically me, you would cringe. You would cringe. Not only what they put me through physically, mentally, but I was one of these kids that I didn't care. I didn't care. Okay. But guess what? Anthony, Boy Wonder, would care.
Well, don't forget, in the 90s, I worked in construction for years, right? In form work.
There you go.
And that was, again, our mentality, me being in my early 20s, you shut up and did what you were told.
Get on with it, yeah.
Because you were surrounded by people that you just didn't argue with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were abused and you were this and you were that. But at the end of the day, it was part of the job. And on your breaks and after work, everything was fine.
Yep.
Similar to sport.
Yep.
Abusive on the field. Yeah. Players would tell each other off, teammates, captains, your coach would scream at you. Again, at training, if you did something wrong, you had to do 10 laps or whatever. It's a similar type of thing. But we just accepted it as this is normal for us.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of the teams now, during the off season, you hear about all the time. You even said it was on YouTube. They do boot camps. Now they're not light. They're heavy. They're hard.
You saw the manly stuff, right?
So this wrestling thing must have been even harder than a boot camp for them to react
wait
like that.
a minute. A boot camp,
you
know what you're doing. You know you're going to go through hell. And I'm pretty sure that the trainers are not isolating one human being.
Yeah, true.
Okay, and drowning him.
Yeah.
Okay. This kid was isolated by himself.
Yeah.
Because he was 10 minutes late. Okay. And he wasn't reprimanded. Well, you have to have 3 letters before you are
Three warning letters.
3 warning letters. Okay. This kid.
And a performance improvement plan.
Okay, well, this kid rocked up 10 minutes late and didn't get spoken to, but he had the rest of 30 guys.
Yeah. And I don't think it was the physical thing probably as much as the humiliation of it, which is what's driving it.
You know what? I'll answer your questions. Guess what? 10 years ago, did you think you'd ever hear about a disruptor?
No, I still don't know what that even means.
Okay, guess what? He's fucked. Carey's fucked.
Yeah.
Full stop.
All right.
Okay. Give him $3 million now. What is it? What's the lawsuit?
$4 million.
Or give him $4 million now.
They're better off just
Give him $4 million.
settling out of court.
Or give him shares in a pub.
Give him share in a pub. Go and get Laundry to give him a pub because you know what? Carey's gonna be dragged into the mud.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The NRL, mark my words.
Have they taken a
the
stance on
NRL? No, they're gonna keep away. They would have done it already. Their lawyers have told them keep away from this. I'll tell you now. They're gonna keep away
to the club itself.
Yeah, they're gonna keep away from it.
And don't forget, the Fatala Mariner apparently approached Gus about the training and stuff. So there was apparently already word there that they didn't like what was happening. So this guy goes to court. He's got 12. How many guys did they try and get rid of? He's got 12 guys that might turn up and say, yeah, they were hard. You know what I mean? He's going to have backup.
Carry the witnesses.
Well, Adi,
exactly.
Adi, wait a minute. There's been 3 that came out. They've come out already supporting the kid.
Who?
I saw an article. There was 3 players
Oh god,
that came out. Obviously, it could be sour grapes because obviously they're not there anymore.
Ex-players,
in different clubs.
Yeah,
and Fidel Mariner was one of them.
Well, we know for a fact that he approached the coach about the training methods, and he was basically locked out after that.
Yeah. So
look,
In other words, they approached him, but nothing was done.
You know what? I support, and it's a damn shame that the club got to that standard. Okay,
Yeah.
and I support what Serrato.
Yeah, I get it.
And what Gus did. Okay, every club should have that, and I'm sure Benji is doing that at the Tigers because you know why? It's shown on the field that's what he's doing. But you know what?
It's toughness.
He's probably doing it a little bit more smarter than Serrato. Gus and this trainer, which I don't know his name.
The world has changed so much that
Unfortunately.
when we were that age, we didn't take our ball and go home.
Yeah.
We copped whatever it was, but times have changed. So
And what about your thoughts now on this, guys? Earlier in the year, the NRL had the monkey gate now, so we've got a guy named Spencer Leniu who the NRL stepped in and demanded this guy sit out for 8 weeks, right, because of player welfare, the mental state of this guy. Right, what about this guy now? Well, the NRL can't protect the club now. They've got to stand by this kid because they did the Latrell. They've stepped in for all these other guys.
I'll tell you about someone else they stepped in
Well,
for
guess what?
when we get to it.
Guess what, Artie? If they don't,
Yeah,
that's
they're
a
the
disgrace.
Thing. If they support
exactly what I
Canterbury,
say.
then it throws all those other things out. So it's going to be interesting. It's hard for the NRL. They should just, like you said, George, just stay out of it.
They will stay out of it.
They can't.
They will stay
They
out
can't
of
win. It will be a
They
win.
can't.
It's a lose-lose.
Luke Keary's retiring at the end of the season.
Damn shame.
It is.
Yeah,
He's such a good player, isn't he? 3 premierships.
3 premierships.
1 with South, 2 with the Roosters.
That's right. Yeah.
Great player. Did he ever play Origin?
I think he might have had. Did he have 1 game?
He probably did have Artie. I think he might have come in for a game, but he's not your typical Origin sort of player.
He's won 3 grand finals, but can't win Origin.
Yeah,
That's New South Wales for you.
Yeah, but there's a reason, man. There's a reason. And I'm the same. I like big bodies. I like big bodies.
I think he's had quite a few concussions. I think that
that's
had
right.
something to do with his decision as well. But I know for a fact, and I'm not going to name names, but a good friend of mine is actually doing an MBA that Kiri is doing as well. Right?
Yeah,
so I'm not going to name names, but
not
a good friend of mine is actually partnered up with him in the MBA because they have to partner up to do assignments and stuff. So he's definitely planning ahead because he's going to have a master's degree at the end of this year in business.
There you go.
And it's just worth mentioning that my friend's name, who I'm not going to mention, also said that he never talks about his profession in front of the class or anything. He's very modest. Yeah, very
gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, my mate doesn't follow rugby league because he rang me one night and he goes, "Do you know who this guy is?" I go, "Are you serious?" And then he went on to tell me about it. But
What do you got for me, Artie?
Well, he's never played for New South Wales. You know why?
Why?
Queenslander.
is he a Queenslander?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
From Ipswich.
He's an Ipswich
He's an Ipswich boy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was born in Ipswich, Queensland.
Well, there's no way he's played for Queensland.
No.
Because there's just too much competition in the halves.
Australia, New South Wales and Ireland. They're the
He's played for Australia.
He's played for
New South
Australia,
Wales.
2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, he had New South Wales, actually, 1.
I thought
Oh, sorry, I got wrong. 1 game for New South Wales.
But he's a
2020.
Queenslander.
But he's a Queenslander, born in Ipswich, Queensland.
But what
3rd of
age?
February '92.
What age did he play first time?
So 18,
So it
Wouldn't be the first time that
16.
happened.
Yeah, it doesn't really
28,
Peter Sterling was born in Queensland. Greg Inglis was born in New South
on
Wales.
the border. Yeah.
28.
Let me tell you something. What a famous coach said once, Artie, and the coach was Jack Gibson. They asked him a question about 2 players and a position, and he said, "quote I would prefer a big good player to a good small player."
Really?
That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
It's a big body game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I heard that. It's not like I've heard it secondhand. It was on radio, and I heard that. Jack Gibson saying that, and I go, yeah, me too.
It's also, if it's Jack Gibson, then it's got to be at least 20, 30 years old.
Yeah. No. It
25,
was
30 years old.
a long time ago. You know what I mean? But I remember that like vividly. I remember that.
There's an interesting knock-on effect to this because I don't know how much coin Kiri's on, but he'd be on good money, right?
Yeah.
The Roosters, they're also losing Manu, Hargraves, Suwali, and Angus Crichton. So they're going to have about $3.5 to $4 million to spend.
Tupo might be coming around.
So they're going to have probably a good chunk of their cap.
3.5 apparently.
3.5. That's a lot of money. Every club should be nervous about who's coming off contract, right?
And Artie tells me that they've got a good SG ball team, so there you go.
Well, Sandon Smith is the backup now, and he's been sensational.
He did well, yeah.
I reckon he'll just step in. They won't miss a beat.
A halfback.
I wouldn't be surprised
Won't
if they
cost
go,
them as much either.
Exactly, because he's a young fella. He's been killing it. He's been great when Kiri's been out or Walker. And I wouldn't be surprised if they send a little message to Lachlan Lamb over in the UK.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He was under their juniors and then he went over there for he's been killing it. Hasn't he been playing well in England?
He has been playing.
I'm sure.
He's come back from injury and he's playing really well.
His dad killed it for that club too.
His dad's he's a good coach.
Like you said, Nick, everyone's going to be nervous now and there's no such thing as contracts. So if any player can go available now, they can just talk to him, go for dinner.
Gee.
You have to remember,
Uncle Nick Politis will
Uncle Nick will saw everything.
You have to remember, I'm no lawyer, but any contract is only as good as the parties who signed it. If they all agree to break it, it's breakable.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, it is.
Now we backed off Latrell last week because they had the bye, but he's back in the news again.
Yeah.
Poor Latrell.
The guy's still 2 weeks away from playing. But the story this morning, and this is from Fox Sports, was that Latrell's considering pulling out of Origin. Let me finish, right? Latrell's considering pulling out of Origin to focus on South.
Oh, no.
My question is, on what planet do you think you're getting picked?
He's not getting picked.
He's not even close to getting picked.
As fullback or a centre?
Neither, right? So maybe that's his way of trying to avoid the embarrassment, but it gets even better.
Linesman.
It gets even better because this afternoon it was reported on Fox that the NRL is set to reject any application submitted to them by Latrell Mitchell to make himself unavailable for Origin.
How about Ponga last year?
I know. Last year Ponga did it. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. So clearly there's no
on what grounds? Why would they do this?
Because if Latrell plays, there's more ratings, right? I don't know.
I give up.
But this is
I give up.
My
literally.
I give up, Artie.
This is literally absurd, and they've pulled some archaic statute out of the contract laws saying that it's a club's responsibility to make players available. Again, what about Ponga last year?
What about Ponga?
Ponga's just one. We've seen this happen many times, you know.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see where this goes because, and it's not. I mean, for me personally, Latrell's not even close to being good. Mind you, he'll only have about 2 games under his belt before the Origin series. But
Madge won't pick Ponga. Madge is a coach. But you know what?
Latrell.
Oh, sorry, Latrell. But you know what? I call double standards, and you know I get some mail from fans saying that I might be off the mark, putting it kindly. Okay, but longer this goes, more and more are going to be validated because you know what? People out there, there's double standards. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah. There's double standards. So anyway, I'm not going to go anymore because I don't want to get any DMs.
At the end of the day, Maguire's not a dumb person. He'll pick on form. He won't pick him if he's not playing well.
You know what?
That's fine.
I'll tell you what Magic likes: winning.
Latrell's form really has been below par so far this season in the games that he's played. So he's. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we went through a team last week, I think, but he's not even close.
Yeah.
To be fair. And that's not a shot at him. He'd have to come back and have 2 amazing weeks to be considered. Anyway.
And in saying that, he could. It's Latrell.
Of course.
If he decides to play
if Latrell
football,
wants to play footy, he's the first person you'd pick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be clear about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm simply going off his form so far this season, and his form off the field hasn't helped him either.
Well,
and Maguire won't want those kind of distractions.
Again, Maguire likes winning, and Maguire's a coach. Yeah. Maguire is a coach.
So Arthur, this next point you're not going to be happy about.
Oh no! What's happening here?
Oh no!
The Tigers flew under the radar and got to River.
Yes.
On the street. Yes. Now, no one saw that coming.
Apparently, they're related. Isn't Coruscant and Taruva cousins?
Coruscant.
Yeah.
I mean,
was it Coruscant or Buller?
Fullback, Buller.
We were all pretty confident he was going to go to the Dragons, or at least they were in advanced negotiations with him.
At this stage, I think we'll be lucky to sign bloody Menzies out of retirement.
But seriously, no one saw this coming.
No one
saw this coming.
And he's getting less than what we're offering. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, under.
So he's gone for less money.
Going for unders, yeah.
You know what? I think...
No, we stink. No one wants to go near Wollongong.
You know what, Adi?
They hate us.
I think that they all grew up watching Benji and they idolised Benji. And we know that the 5'8" who's going there from Penrith.
Yeah, he idolises Benji.
He idolises
So did
Luai.
Bud Sullivan.
Sullivan.
So did a few others. Yeah.
So I think we got it wrong. The pulling power of Benji, it's more than we think.
Well, he's making some good signings.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Let's not forget, Taruva must know Coruscant.
Yeah.
Taruva is training and eating every day with Luai. Okay.
Yeah.
What's his name? Bulla is his cousin.
Yeah.
Now, what that means in that world, I'm not sure, but they're related somehow.
But it's also funny that Ivan Cleary dropped him from the team because he said he wasn't focused. He was too distracted.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that.
But you would think that the deal is done now, so get on with it.
Week,
so
yeah.
I don't know if that's just him being upset. I know they wanted to retain him because they were fighting St George.
Absolutely.
I don't think they saw it coming either.
I don't think they.
So the Tigers did this one really well.
Yeah.
They did.
Really well. And they're signing really well.
Yeah. And they did Luai really well
man.
too. They did Luai really well too.
So speaking of signings, Souths have signed an English halfback. George, you'll tell us his name because I don't know.
Young Dodd.
Lewis Dodd.
Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, tell us about him, George.
Okay, so he's not your Ilias type of halfback. He's I call him a strike halfback. So he's more Mitch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he's a running halfback. I'm not sure if he's an organising halfback because he plays for St Helens, so he doesn't organise. But in that world, in Super League, in St Helens, is he a superstar? Absolutely. Yeah. Him and the fullback, which I can't remember his name at the moment, they're the two which stand out. Now,
oh, really?
Yeah. Now, to bring him here to the Bunnies to think that he's the answer to the problems, I'm not sure about that.
Great opportunity for a 22-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
We had the last...
But he's a strike. He's a strike weapon. He's a strike halfback.
The last halfback that I can think of was George Williams, who came out and played for Canberra. He did really well.
Yeah, okay. So he's a little bit different, and he's doing well back in England as well. For, I can't remember now Leeds. But he's not that type of halfback either because... he's a little bit more organised than George Williams, and he'll trail the 40s. He's very quick. He's very quick. So he's more Mitch. So he'll run to the line and play in the line than stand back and like Ilias would and offload like that. He's very good. There's no doubt about it. He's a very good halfback. He's one of the best halfbacks in England.
Well, the real question that South fans will be asking themselves now is, what does this mean for Lachlan Ilias? And confirmed this afternoon, Ilias is officially free to speak to rival clubs after his manager applied for permission from South, which I'm guessing means he won't play first grade for them again because he's out for the season.
Yeah, no.
That's sad.
So his manager, obviously being Braith and Astor, for those who don't know, approached the club and the club agreed to let him go. So he's obviously not in their plans.
Okay. Look, Ilias and Hawkins in the right system will do very well. I hope Braith picks the right system for them.
I have a question for you. The Bulldogs need a halfback. Is that the right system for Lockie?
I say no. I've heard a lot say yes, and we just heard a pod, the Telegraph pod. Buzz. He was saying Bulldogs. I don't believe it to be the right system. I think that team and how they think and what they want. Because if Sexton went and Sexton, they don't want Sexton. Well, Ilias is a Sexton.
What about life after Ben Hunt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
St George, yes.
Yeah, that would be something they should look at.
I think Flanagan is a coach that could do really well.
Absolutely.
For
yeah. I never thought of that. Yes.
I think it'd be good. But what's going to say? With the Dogs, because you've got Blake Taff, if they can pull off what's his name? Ilias, and maybe you might be able to sneak in Memozelis as well, man. You get the spine of the old South. That's pretty good.
Can I just reference to that?
Yeah.
They won a Reggie's comp with Ilias at
exactly.
7
and
Taff at 6.
They've got a form. They've got form.
Greek Easter this week or next week?
This week, yes.
you could have 3 Greeks fired from South in the same week. Just saying.
Christos Anesti.
Christos Anesti,
But
all right.
I'll take him at St George. But at the moment we've got Hunt there, and he won't move. So
How many more years has Hunt got on his contract?
well,
He's 34, right?
he's got another year or two. I think he's got another year next year, and that's it. Done.
I just think a
He's
player,
injured this year. Next year he comes.
I just think a player like Elias, we've seen enough to know that he's got what it
There's
takes,
something there.
but they
Yeah.
haven't been able to unpack it. And I think Flanagan's probably the best explainer to unpack
You never know.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of any other team in the competition
Well,
that they need to go to.
Obviously, Braithy's going to be talking to any club who's interested, right? Because
Yeah.
he's a free agent now. So
Yeah, but Nick, we can't sign anyone. If St George show any interest, the buy can make a bid
but-
for him, and he'll go to the buy.
yeah, but you
Honestly,
know what?
we can't get anyone. No one wants to go to St
We
George.
don't know what the circumstances are. Like maybe St George are setting a benchmark that people aren't prepared to meet. You know what I mean? I don't know, right? But
It's frustrating.
maybe when they meet, maybe I don't. And this is purely assumption. I don't know. But maybe, for example, if Taruva went and met with Flanagan,
yeah,
maybe he was afraid of the benchmark that he was expected. You know, maybe Flanagan saying this is the level we play at.
yeah.
You know, if you're not prepared for that, it's better you don't come. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's
mate,
got to be a reason because Flano's his first year in the job, and it's obvious to see while the improvement is not consistent, it's there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become consistent in a month. It takes time, but we can see it. you
Yeah.
know? So, I wouldn't worry about. I don't think you guys have problems signing players, but it is an issue if you've got a 34-year-old who won't budge,
Yeah.
even though he knows he's a year or two away. Like the plan, the club has to plan ahead as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, but look, he's a free agent, and anyone who needs a halfback, and dare I say Canterbury, I don't know if they've got any room in the cap, but maybe they'll fire someone.
You know
But,
what?
You know, any club who needs a halfback will be talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
The only,
and that's obviously has ties to the Bulldogs.
yeah, and to the Roosters, and the only two clubs which I can see that will need sort of or will embrace and improve Lockie would be St George or Roosters.
Yeah.
The Roosters having a clean out. They're going to need a number 7.
But
Wow.
what about Williams though? Sam Williams.
So you're talking about Williams from
Sam Walker.
Sorry,
Walker.
Sam Walker. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. Or in the half somewhere.
Walker's amazing.
He is.
He had a great- yeah,
he is.
he had a great
But I'm
second.
just thinking of the coach as well. So, Lockie, we saw, and look, I think unfortunately this hurts me to say. I think there's a lot to put onto JD, but we saw him surrounded with stars, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the coaches which will make it work. No, I'll say
But is it-
Bellamy, but
is
they've
it,
got-
is
they've
it a
got-
fair
what's his name?
point? Do you think it's a fair point to say, certainly in the last 12 months, none of those stars were firing either?
No, they weren't. No, of course they weren't.
Yeah, like we all know. Obviously, South the last 12
Yeah.
months.
No.
So-
But he didn't take things from the horn. Didn't take the ball from the horn and lead. And this is this is everybody standing back, waiting for someone to lead. Now, no. Everybody around him was calling for the ball, but at the end of the day, if the halfback calls for the ball,
I saw him do it once when he kicked the field goal to win the game.
and Cookie talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
If the halfback calls for the ball, okay. What did Cookie say? If my number 7 calls for the ball, give it to my number 7. He didn't do that. But let's see what happens. I'm very interested in Lockie because Lockie is a first grader. There's no doubt in my mind. Lockie is a first grader.
You know
No
what's
doubt.
you know what's interesting about this though? They're making movements in bringing in Lewis Dodd and getting rid of Lachlan Elias. What about the coach? If Dimitri, what if the new coach comes in has got other ideas?
Yeah.
Shouldn't they have at least, unless the coach is already lined up and he's already told him, I want this guy and I want this guy gone. It's just bizarre to be making these moves when the coach is uncertain he's going to be there next week.
You know, obviously Zach Lomax signed with the Eels, and the story broke the other day that
Trying to get
he wanted a clause in the contract with the coach, and the club said no.
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
guarantee. So no club can guarantee that anymore. It's
Yeah, I know,
it's
I
a
know.
dumb move to make because you just don't know. But
It's just interesting that South might bring in a new coach and Lewis Dodd might not suit that style,
Yeah.
but Elias does, but it's too late now. They've already got rid of him and they've brought in Dodd. It's weird.
now,
Dodd is a little bit different. he'll fit into most systems.
Yeah.
Just how he plays.
Yeah, sure.
But the only thing about Dodd is this, okay? He's a St Helens junior, so he grew up in the best pathways in England. Okay, then straight away, because he's only 22, he went into the best rugby league team in Europe. Okay, and he's won 3.
But I think the other thing worth noting as well, he's not an NRL player.
That's what that's what I'm trying to allude to.
The point that I'm trying to make is because everything you just said is spot on, right?
Yeah.
They don't even. It's highly likely the coach won't even be there next year, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a 22-year-old kid in England and you got an opportunity to go play for South Sydney, you don't care.
Yeah.
I'll deal with whatever's there. This is my shot, even if it's just to go there and impress another club. You know?
Yeah.
Is this the guy that St George tried to get earlier in the year, and then he signed an extension for 5 years? Is this Lewis Dodd? Or was that which guy was that guy?
No, that wasn't. Was he a halfback?
He was a halfback. He played for St Helens or Wigan. I'm thinking it's Lewis Dodd. That's why I'm surprised. All of a sudden he switched and said he wants to come to NRL. I'm pretty sure it was.
His contract's up this year.
It is. Okay, so it's a different halfback. It must be the other one from the other team. So it's whoever was in the...
That was Thingy Bob from Hull KR. What's his name now?
Is the English one? Is he the English halfback?
He's the English halfback.
Okay, sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Dodd hasn't played for the English.
So he's never played for England either. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, because they went for Mikey. His name's Mikey. I forget his surname. Yeah. Mikey something.
Michael Lowry.
He's he's a Hull KR halfback. He's different again. Dodd's a superstar, a strike. Mikey isn't a superstar, nor is he a strike for me. But he caused a lot of trouble with Hull KR.
Now, this next point is not about me being biased, but as our listeners know, we've started to include the weekly weather report into the podcast. And so the NRL weatherman, Graham Annesley, the only man who can get it wrong and not get fired, has struck again today. So he's confirmed that Tommy Turbo was offside on the kick that saw Will Penasini sin binned the other night.
Surprise.
So Manly kicked a penalty goal after Penasini got a sin bin.
Surprise.
He got sin bin, and when they look at the kick that led to that, Turbo was offside. So it actually should have been a penalty to Parramatta. So the actual statement that he made was, this is verbatim, the front foot in front of the kicker and the ball, under our rules, chasers have to have both feet behind the ball. So that would mean that Tom is offside here. This is my favourite part, right? You ready for this? I want to play it in normal speed so you can get the feel of what the officials had to work with here. Very difficult with the naked eye. That's why we have a fucking bunker.
Oh, my
But anyway,
God.
Help me, Arnie, help me. I don't want to start. Help me.
I got nothing. I'm not saying they lost the game because of that, but I got nothing.
So the bunker couldn't see that, but there was a game, I can't remember which one, I'll bring it up later, where the bunker disallowed a try when the guy was reaching out and it literally left for 1 second and he scored. That was a try.
Let me
But anyway, they saw that, but they didn't see the foot.
No, they got that.
We all know how every week it gets slowed down to a snail's pace, right?
Exactly.
Let me read this again because he said this today. It's on the NRL website. I want to play it in normal speed so you can get the feel of what the officials had to work with here. Mind you, they've been working with that for 114 years. Very difficult with the naked eye. That's why we have a bunker, you idiot.
So, but wait a minute. God. If you didn't slow down Appy's try, that was a try.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
If you don't slow down, all of these incidents, 9 out of 10 of them go unnoticed. Anyway.
God. I don't want to start on the bunker.
My
blood pressure.
Makes me sick.
Give me my blood pressure pills, Harvey. Give me my blood pressure pills. Oh, no.
I know. Look, as a result of that game, Cherry Evans and I think it was Ola Kawatu both went on report for a lifting tackle on Sean Lane.
Yes.
And the Sea Eagles players have called for a drastic overhaul of the NRL judicial system after skipper Daddy Cherry Evans was offered a 2-match ban, despite only being charged one other time. Now, to be clear, he's only been charged once in his whole career, over 300 games, right?
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Definitely good enough for me to say, hey, you've got a clean record, we'll give you a pass, we'll give you a fine. I've got no dramas with that at all.
The
part that cracks me up is the Seagulls players have called for a drastic overhaul of the NRL judicial system.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of their players got charged.
Of course they.
Yeah.
Of course they.
I can't see that happening.
If it was a Dogs player, they'll say, yeah, no, he deserves,
exactly,
a month. Deserves a month.
Funny that. This is an interesting one that Artie and we always talk about. Cronulla.
Yeah.
They've been on fire the last few weeks,
They
right?
have been, yeah.
And I think their last 2 weeks, the aggregate score is 82-6 or something like that.
Unbelievable.
But, you know, we've all spoken about how their comp starts in September in terms of validation. Their next 3 games, they face Melbourne, Roosters and Penrith.
No, don't they play us first, St. George?
Yes, this Sunday they play.
After that, okay.
After that, sorry.
So they've got the bye this week, St. George, and then they've got 3.
After St. George, they've got Melbourne, Roosters and Penrith. I'm not sure if that's the right order or not. But so I think in a month from now, we'll have a good gauge on where they're really at.
Yeah.
But again, as unfair as it might, because I think we were saying they're actually better now than what they were last year.
No, definitely better this year than the previous 2
But
years.
the reality is the last 2 years, they're at a 0% win rate in finals.
Yes.
From 4 games. So unfortunately for them, it's going to start in September.
Yep. That's when
but I think the next month will be a good gauge of where they're at.
One thing I can say is that it's taken Fitzy a while, but it looks more like a Fitzgibbon team. Yeah, his values, we've seen him grow up. We like Fitzy. We've talked about Fitzy. He was a St. George player. He went to the
Mostly
Roosters.
Yeah,
Roosters. We all like Fitzy in this room.
So it looks great. He played for New South Wales.
Absolutely.
I think he has the highest tackle count in an Origin game.
Fitzy?
Yeah, which back then, 50-something tackles was not as common as it is today.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it's a good barometer. We'll see what transpires. If they get even 1 out of that 3 and the other 2 are good performances, I say it's a win.
Yeah.
I say it's a win.
It's a tough run.
It's a tough run, bud.
It's a tough run.
But they need it.
And the Dragons won't be easy either because the Dragons...
They just lost.
They've been going almost like 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've been playing well and then when they play poorly, they seem to rebound well.
Yeah.
So it's a real test for them as well.
And it's a local derby.
Yeah.
And Braden Trindle, I just read just now, last minute, that he's facing a possible 5-6 week ban too. So he's going to be off for a while.
Yeah, so that's something we didn't mention. So Braden Trindle from the Sharks was pulled over on Monday morning. He was breathalyzed, which he blew over, DUI. Yeah. He was drug tested, which he tested positive to an illicit substance. Don't know what it was. Look, they obviously had Monday off. He had a big night on Sunday night, but he copped it on Monday morning. I'd be surprised if he gets off with 5-6 weeks, to be honest.
Me too, yeah. I thought that was a bit light compared to what other people
But I'm sure, I don't have an issue with it. But Artie, you want to tell us give us some updates on the juniors, some of the action we saw over the weekend?
Sure, but just to add a bit of spice to this Sunday's game, after the Roosters game, they interviewed Flano, and he had
in the press conference?
In the press conference.
I saw that.
And he goes, I've got that game marked. I've had it marked in my calendar for a while, the Cronulla game. So he's really looking forward to playing that game. So he's going to be really
He actually said, I don't
pumped.
think they haven't won nothing since I've been there.
Yeah. Guys, they haven't won anything since I've been there.
Is that at the prison?
Yeah.
Okay, at the prison. Okay.
But
he'll have his team up.
Yeah, so
you better believe
maybe he had his eye on this game before the Roosters game. Maybe he thought the Roosters game we've got a good chance. Let's worry about the Sharks and backfired.
Why. You can understand why.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, what happened in the juniors?
Yeah, but there was the finals in the junior games, in the junior competitions. So we had the Harold Matthews competition, which is under 17s. And we had the Warriors beat the Magpies 34-16, which is a good result. SG Ball, we had under 19s. The Dragons, St. George Dragons, wasn't the St. George Illawarra Dragons, so it's the St. George Dragons, beat the Dogs 40-18. Their first win since 92.
So when you say St. George, you mean Cogra-based kids?
Yeah, the Cogra-based kids at St. George.
Go back to the Harold Mats. You said West?
Yeah, it was Warriors versus the Magpies.
Warriors versus
beat
the
Magpies. Yeah.
They beat them. What was the score there?
It was 34-16.
Okay.
And then we've got the Tusher Gale Cup, which is the women's
Girls,
under 18s.
Yeah.
We had the Steelers win 24-12. They're a very strong team compared to the Dragons. The Dragons team was getting flogged, but the Steelers team is very strong. They won 24-12. And this is the weird one. In Queensland, they got a junior rugby league competition there, and the grand final was on. And we had the Burleigh Bears beat the Wild Bay Bulls. The score was close, 130 to 0.
Yeah, I saw
Jeez.
that. I saw that.
130.
Is that where that young Broncos youngster scored 46 points?
That's ridiculous.
Jeez.
130
It wasn't
0.
a final.
I thought it was a final.
I don't think so.
That's worse than the Super League era.
It was the final, man. Let me have a look at it. I'm pretty sure it was.
See,
but
one thing I still disagree with is the Steelers, the Dragons, the Magpies, and the Tigers.
They've got to get it together.
They've got to be one entity from the kids up, right?
I think so.
Instead of having this separate crap, it's
Why?
got to be this.
we've got a bigger pool to choose from.
No, but you're still going to have the same pool. You're still going to
No,
have the
because then
same.
you've got to put them into one team. Let's put two gun teams. Imagine we both meet in the final. We get the best of the best.
If you want to get the best out of your club, it's got to be one club right through.
Yeah, it's true, but
Right through. And we've seen the evidence of.
But there's juniors, so you can't expect young kids from Wollongong travel all the way to Cogra, or Cogra to travel all the way to Wollongong.
No, there's St George Illawarra juniors in Wollongong and there's St George Illawarra juniors in Cogra. Just like West Tigers juniors in Leichhardt, West Tigers juniors in Campbelltown.
Okay. Yeah,
one shirt from under sixes all the way up.
Okay, that's
one
interesting.
entity.
That's interesting. So you still
maintain
the both bases.
Whether anyone wants to admit it or not, there is still a divide.
Yeah,
when you're playing for two different clubs and then you come together and when you get graded.
Probably
Harold Matts or whatever it is. So
it is.
Can we just go back and revisit those scores and those games? For the Harold Maths, the Warriors, we know that they're full of youngsters in New Zealand. I'm more interested in the west side of it. The west side, that's the Campbelltown side. They've made a Harold Maths final, and it's what they're talking about in terms of the youngster numbers in the Campbelltown area. I guess John Scandalis has got his fingerprints on that, and I hope he has. But I'm more interested in the Jersey Flegg. The Jersey Flegg, the St George. I actually watched that game. Both teams during the season were very impressive. Nicola, I actually thought the Dogs would win. I saw the semi-final. And I didn't think anyone could beat them, honestly. We've got some special young men in that team. If there's not 6 players coming through into first grade in the next 3 years, I'll be a monkey's uncle. We've got a halfback who looks like he will be something special. And look, they're young men, so you don't know what's going to happen. But at what first appearance, that's what I can see.
The only thing, because we talked about it earlier, right? And I only just thought about it in the last few minutes because we talked about the Bulldogs. I said they need a halfback, right? And you said there's one coming through. It's
3 years away.
It's got a bit of a South flavour to it.
3 years.
I don't think you need a halfback that's going to get graded amongst all those big names. I think you need a solid halfback to come in.
Okay,
it's a bit of an Ilias flavour.
But
you know what I mean?
saying that, there's one in the Reggies at the moment. So if you want a solid halfback,
well, for Canterbury, you mean
Sexton?
Sexton, yeah. I don't know that Sexton or Hutchinson are the answer.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But we're waiting. In saying that, I'll go back to the flag team. I thought, or was it the SG ball team?
SG.
Sorry, the SG ball team. I thought the Canterbury couldn't get beaten. Stars all through that team, Nicola.
Yeah.
Then I saw St George. My godfather. Repeat the score, Adi.
40 to 18.
40 to 18, and Canterbury lost the first 3 games of this competition. Okay, then they went on a tear. No one could catch them. They beat the highly rated Roosters.
Roosters who were undefeated.
Roosters were immorals. Everybody was saying Roosters were morals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I saw them play in the semi-final. The prelim against the Roosters. Okay, and beside, I saw some shoots. Don't get me wrong. There's a lock, a back rower, and a centre, which are outstanding. But after that, I didn't see much. Canterbury just absolutely demoralised them. For St George to do what they did to the Bulldogs, I'll tell you what, Flanagan's going to have a lot to pick from in the next 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years. There's going to be truckloads of youngsters. May I say something like Penrith?
We need to because we can't attract anyone. So we have to. Seriously, we have to rely on our juniors because we're not going to be getting anyone from anyone. No one wants to come there.
It's a bit of the flavour that what Canberra's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Ricky's just stockpiling, and he's brought youngsters, and they lost, but they're youngsters.
Yeah.
poor guy. You know what I mean? But if he keeps this team together, Ricky, in the next 3 years, the youngsters become young men.
They will.
So
well, listen, see, the Dragons won a premiership.
There you go.
and I'll say it again. I'm going to emphasise it. These kids, the standard that they played at 18, I'm flabbergasted. I can't understand what I was watching. I've lost my words because the standard was so high in Nicola. I'm going, this is first grade. What is it? I'm waiting for a mistake. Like youngsters, every 3 sets, there's mistakes. The book just kept in play. It was amazing, Nicola. I really enjoyed watching it, and all I can think about was, gee, these kids are good. These kids are good. How good are these kids? So, outstanding.
And the coach of the SG Ball Dragons team is Willie Talau, ex-Bull.
Oh, really? Yeah.
There
you go.
Wow.
He's been there for a few years now.
Well, his son's at South now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talau,
Yes, Talau, yes. The winger.
He was a good centre for
Very
Canterbury,
good.
Willie Talau.
Very good.
Very good, yeah.
Very good.
Then he went to England for a bit.
And he done well in England.
Was he in the 04 team?
Yes, he was in that grand final team. Yeah. Yes.
Before we get on to the results, let's just have a quick chat about coaches that are under the blowtorch. So the 2 obvious ones are Brad Arthur and Jason Demetrio. We know that. We've talked that to death. What do you guys think? Is Todd Payton in that realm yet?
Todd Payton? I don't think so, not yet. I thought they were pretty gutsy in the second half of that game against Penrith, the Cows. But Brad Arthur definitely has got to be something there. How many? 11 years? So
11th year, yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be something there. And Dimitri, well, he's a dead man walking. I can't see him lasting.
They South have a board meeting tomorrow night. Dare I say they'll make some sort of decision there. Probably let him see out the season and then he'll go after that.
I think so.
If these 2 guys do get the boot, can you see them landing a job in the future, or do you think that's it for them?
Sometimes a change is as good as a holiday. I mean,
well, wait a minute. If we're talking Brad Arthur, Brad Arthur's an outstanding coach.
Yeah, I think so too.
Be it an assistant coach, be it a head coach.
I don't know about outstanding.
Outstanding, Nicola.
Really?
He's a great development coach. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say
5 final series in 11 years.
I'm going to say that he's not the type of guy to win the comp, and we've seen it with Brian Smith. You know what?
Yeah.
He can get you to the dance. He even gets you to the dance, but for some reason, in his personality, okay, he can't take you because at that stage, make no mistake, it's the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. He can't take you to the final.
He's
to the
a
final
great development coach.
So there's no doubt he will get a job. JD, I think JD's a good coach, but maybe he might have to do not Reggie's, but assistant coach for a few more years until he gets his opportunity. But I still think those are 2 very good coaches. The issue is, who do you replace them with? That's the only problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Wayne Bennett, but he can only take 1 job.
That's right. If it was me and I was Parramatta, and I know they love him, the board loves Brad, and that's why I think Brad will stay. I'll be making a phone call now.
So do you think Brad will last the season, Nick?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Or do you reckon it'll be like a midweek year?
No, absolutely. But the question I have, and he's someone who'd have to reflect on this, if Brad Arthur held a position in operational management where he had to make a decision on someone, would he be prepared to extend someone who's been there 11 years and failed?
Or you're talking about in corporate world, you tell me.
No, in the club. Like if he had to rehire himself.
I would have sacked him 3 years ago.
Thank you.
I would have sacked
Depends
him
what your expectations are, your KPIs. If it's just finals, making finals.
Wait a minute.
There's KPIs
Mitch
at
the start of the year said Parramatta are in the business of winning trophies.
Every club is, George.
Yeah.
But Parramatta specifically is in the business of winning
it's
competitions.
not Parramatta specifically. That's the club he plays for.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
but every club
wants
goes
to win
out to win a premiership.
Yeah, but
that's the goal.
But West is a little bit far away.
Make no mistake about it. Clubs like West and Canterbury, they know they're not going to win it this year, but they're planning to win it in the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, but I think the question was, what are you going to do this year? And he answered that Parramatta in the position of...
he didn't know he was going to miss half the season
No,
either.
I'm not blaming him nor anything. I'm just saying the question he got, what was this year, what are your expectations
You're
this year?
making my point.
Okay. Well, no, I agree.
You're making my point.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's got to go. No, I agree. He's got to go. And Adi asked the question. Adi asked the question. What's your expectation? Well,
a ring.
A ring.
Yeah.
Parramatta, the last 4 years at least, if not 6,
Yeah.
a ring. In the next 2 years,
Parramatta were on the verge of making finals. Dylan Brown thing last year didn't help. It killed them.
Look, last year was
that destroyed this season.
Sometimes you can't.
And this year was more.
Yeah, a lot of injuries, a lot of suspensions.
No, last year was
every club goes
I get
through
last year. I get last year.
But again, like I look at this season, for example, there are a lot of other clubs who have lost their main playmakers for extended periods, and they're not playing anywhere near as bad.
That's the issue.
And for me, it's not even so much. It's the stuff the predictable stuff that we already know, like his bench rotation, where he doesn't utilize it. Right? There's been games where he uses 3 players and one bench player doesn't get a run. So you're stretching every other player that night, right? Things like we know Dylan Brown's not a halfback, right? He picks Dejan Arce, who is a halfback, but he plays him at 5'8". Then he gets the pressure about Ethan Sanders, who's now signed with another club. No issues there because if you're a kid and you got Moses and Brown in front of you, you know your options are limited, right? So that's fair enough. But because he's under so much pressure, he folds to it, a little bit like what Demetrio is doing, which shows a lack of backbone. So now he picks Sanders, but again, he plays him at 6, not 7 in his club debut.
Has he got him at 5'8"? Last week,
I thought he was good.
And no, I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm just saying the coach there's no backbone there.
Yeah.
Right? It's a little bit like Demetrio. Now, make no mistake about it. When Latrell comes back, where do you think he's going to play?
Yeah.
No.
The centers.
He'll be in the centers, I reckon.
I hope so.
Because the coach is doing whatever he can to save his ass now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this stuff needs to happen earlier. Like we all like Brad Arthur. There's nothing to dislike about him, you know? He went into that press conference the other night.
What did he say?
You know what? He didn't make any excuses. He said the usual stuff, blah, blah, blah. Then he was asked about, well, what about the sin binning where Turbo was offside? He goes, I thought that was a rough call. He was right. Okay? Penalty count, I think it was 8-0
Oh, really?
or 9-1. Yeah. I think it was 8-0 in the second half. But he didn't use that as an excuse, you know, which is, he rarely does. Rarely ever does, you know. There's nothing to dislike about the guy, and you want him around your club. But the bottom line is, as a first grade coach, for me, it's a failure. If I say to either one of you guys right now, I'll guarantee you a premiership in 12 years, but it's going to take 12 years to get there. Are you going to say yes or no?
If you told me you're going to make me finals 12 years in a row, I would take it 100 mile an hour.
Well, Para have
Trust me, that's because we haven't been in one for a long time.
Para have made it 5 times in 11 years.
Okay.
And only one of those occasions they went past week 2.
Did they only make finals 5 times?
5 times.
That's right.
I thought they made it a lot of
spoon
times.
too, don't forget,
Yeah.
in 2017.
But that was circumstances behind the wooden spoon.
Not really. The circumstances were in 2016. They let Nathan Peets go and they came last the following year. Or 2018, actually. I think it was 2018.
Isn't it strange?
You can look it up.
I thought they were premiers like finals every year because they got with
5
Cowboys.
times, 5 times, and they've gotten past week 2 once.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah.
For me, that's a horrible failure.
Yeah, it's a bit
If
low.
that's where you guys have your standards, I feel sorry for you guys.
No, that's because we haven't tasted finals for a while. That's why.
You got to aim high, man.
I know we do, but
You know.
once you get to finals, anything can happen. So that's my thing. If they can get there, at least they're in the dance to me.
And there's
but,
nothing I dislike about the guy. I really
No,
don't.
that's
and
the- that's
I
the
know
issue.
I know the
That's the
players love
issue.
him too.
And that's the issue. Everybody loves him.
And you know what?
And apparently his wife cooks a mean dinner because she convinced Zach Lomax to come
Well,
across.
that's the point I'm going to now because his assistant is Trent Barrett, who at Penrith was highly talked about as being a really good coach.
Yeah.
Gus used to think he was the bee's knees of coaching.
Yeah.
So he's likely to stand in. He might surprise you and do a good job. And he's a Tamora boy, and he got like Zach Lomax from Tamora. They're both Tamora boys. Maybe that was the link to get him over.
If there's one thing that Trent Barrett has shown us in his previous 2 stints as a first grade coach, is that he cannot go into a struggling club. Yeah. Right? He did it at Manly, he did it at Canterbury, and they were
2
both
teams with no cattle. They didn't have much cattle at the time.
bullshit. Because before Barrett,
Canterbury was pretty poor.
Dean Pay did better with that same squad than what they're doing right now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and it's not a criticism on Barrett, but I just believe it's like Serraldo. He had a horrible year last year, right? I just think if you're a first-up coach, you're better off going to somewhere that's more stable than clubs that are under massive pressure. You know what I mean?
Isn't Paramore stable though? Because he's got a pretty good squad there. It's a good roster to walk into.
Good isn't good enough.
I don't know. Mitch Moses and that. He's a half.
The premiership winning
He'll know how to get the best out of Moses and that being a half.
We haven't won one.
Yeah, I know. And that's what we're alluding to. It's maybe not the cattle, maybe it's the guy in the press box up the top.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for years.
We've been saying it for a while now.
Yeah. But
Mary McGregor might join him.
I'm sure the guy wants to coach, right?
Yeah.
I would love to offer him some gig within the club, whether it's looking after the entire juniors or, I'd love to have him in and around the club doing something. I just don't think 11 years. That's it. Like, I don't even know why we're having this conversation.
We shouldn't.
11 years.
Well, Nick,
seriously, how long do you want to go before you decide it's time for a change?
Well, apparently Mal Meninga's available, mate. You can ask him to coach.
Yeah. Do you remember the last time he coached a club? His own club that he's a legend of sacked him. So no,
he's done well in Origin.
No. It's not a shot on Brad, but it's just at the end of the day, it's a results-based business, and there's no results there.
And that's the thing. It's not a shot on Brad. Brad is a good human being and he's a good coach, but he might not be.
There's not much out there to replace him with.
Only one.
I know.
There's only one coach to replace him.
Madge.
No.
Who?
Super coach.
Oh yeah, Wayne.
Maybe it's time that we're starting to see this. Resurgence might be the wrong word, but there's a lot of rookie coaches now. Probably more so than I can remember at any other time. Like, there's a lot of coaches in their first job, whether it's at Canterbury, whether it's at the Tigers, whether it's at
Cronulla.
I don't know.
Like, there's a lot of coaches at the moment who are in their first job. Maybe that's, maybe someone like a John Morris, or maybe that's the future now. Maybe it's not Wayne Bennett and Michael Maguire and Craig Bellamy anymore.
No, you know what the future is, mate? I'm telling you now, English Super League.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
when Maguire came down, it took him a few years to win one. Robbo came from England. It's guys that have won a comp in England. That's the guys I'd be going for.
But then
before a rookie, and then the rookie.
Yeah, no, that's true. But a lot of those guys were rookies too.
Yeah, I know, but they've won a comp. They've gone through the whole process of winning finals.
Maybe it's just time, again, Newcastle. Maybe it's time to look, and Parramatta, 11 years in, but he's still a one-club coach, right? Maybe it's time to start looking at younger guys who have fresh ideas. With the right Phil Gould behind you or the right person behind you to give you that, Look, you can criticise him as much as you want.
No. What I was going to say is there's not many Phil Goulds around, and nor is there many super coaches.
Did you know what I found out from listening to Gus's podcast last week? Did you listen to it?
No.
He's a Parramatta junior.
He is a Parramatta junior.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really? I thought it was a St George.
He said it. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Parramatta.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was from South Sydney or from St George, somewhere down there in the inner city.
Like I said, I didn't know that.
Wow.
He grew up in Penrith. He's a Penrith youngster, but he played. He lived in Penrith.
Oh,
with his
okay.
parents, but he played in the Parramatta pathway system.
Oh, wow.
But Penrith picked him up first to play first grade or to play reserve grade, and then things happened for them.
Before we move on, are there any other coaches you guys think might be under the blowtorch?
I think Newcastle jumped the gun. I think they got it terribly wrong.
He's on a 3-year deal that starts next year.
Yep. No.
Extension.
And you know what? I wish him the best because I actually think he's a good coach. I've always said I think he's a good coach.
Well, they had a good win on the weekend.
They did have a good win, actually.
Without Ponga.
A gritty win. Yeah, without Ponga, a gritty win. But I think they pulled the gun too early. I would have had a look at him this year as well and then pulled the gun. Definitely not 3 years. Look, all the other coaches are safe, but JD and you know what? Brad Arthur's safe too. The board will not.
Oh, he's definitely safe for this season.
He will. Yeah. They will not pull the trigger.
He's off contract at the end of next year.
Okay, so maybe they'll look around then, but they will not. They will not pull the trigger now.
What about Payton?
JD's gone.
Well, Nick said Payton before.
I think Payton should be, but then they done what they did on Saturday night, which if you're a Cowboy supporter, you'll be banging your head on a brick wall trying to work out where was that effort, that last month where they were getting flogged. You know what I mean? Because I think the wrong team won.
But look at the big.
I think the wrong
But
team
look at
won.
the big picture. He had a great first season.
A great first season.
Last year was horrible,
And let's put in the too hard basket, that one.
and this year's following in the same.
Exactly. So he should be under pressure, but we all know he's going to get another get out of jail card, and then next year he'll be judged. You know what I mean? So, but the issue is this: we can all say that Brad's got to go, and the guy from Newcastle's got to go, O'Brien and JD. If you get rid of somebody, you got to replace them with someone equal or better.
Yeah, but you got to.
And who are these? Where are these people?
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to take a punt. Benji Marshall's not better than Tim Sheens.
No,
Right?
not at the moment.
Sometimes you got to take a punt, but at the end of the day, you can't let that stop you from making the move.
Yeah,
You can't be hamstrung. You know what I mean?
yeah. No,
That's like-
agreed,
that's like-
agreed.
No, I don't want to say it. That's a bad example. but
Agreed, and I think
that's like staying in a relationship with someone who belts you because you think there's no one better out there for you.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You have to make the move.
And I think Adi's point was a valid. Maybe some Super League coaches should have.
Absolutely.
They should have a look at some of them. I'm not saying bring them over, but have a look.
They've had
at
success in the past.
them. Have a look at them.
All of them that have come from England have been good.
Well, not all of them.
Maguire, no, the latest one,
Holbrook
Maguire and Robbo.
There are some, yeah.
So you mean the Australian ones, the ones who've gone?
Yeah,
there to
the ones
Australia.
that have gone there
So
and come
there's-
back.
There's about 2 or 3 there now.
Yeah.
What about Sam Burgess?
Here's the next one.
Here's another one, yeah.
He will
He'll
come
go
back.
all right.
He will come back, and he is a good coach.
What about Tony
already.
Smith? He's been there forever.
It's no offense, but I don't want any of the Smiths at my club again.
Yeah, look,
He's been there forever.
yeah, Tony's Hull KR team are battling. They actually won this week, but are battling. Look, he's a Super League coach
Okay.
at best. Yeah, love him. His brother was better.
Anyway, dare I say, this time next week we'll be talking about at least one coach.
I think so.
Um,
I think
Yeah.
so.
let's go into round 8, the one that's in the can, George.
In the can.
It's in the
Nicola.
can.
So the first Anzac, 3 games on Anzac Day.
3 games.
Yeah.
Last
Loved it.
time.
I actually worked from home on Anzac Day. I chose to work the public holiday, which was great, especially when you watch 3 games of footy while you're working. The Gold Coast. Desi.
They were due for a win.
George. You got it, man.
Yeah, they'll come in.
This comes so close the last month.
They'll come in.
27 points to 24, and dare I say, I thought in the last 10 minutes the Warriors were going to win it for sure. How the Gold Coast hung on, I don't know. It was in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So the Warriors will obviously be disappointed with that, but with Desi, it had to come sooner or later.
Yeah, it was good to see the Titans crack open their account with their first win. Warriors were flat, which was surprising after,
We've been talking about it
especially
for
after
weeks.
a loss to St George.
But we've been talking about
Yeah,
it for
but
weeks.
before that they drew with Manly. They sort of, I don't know, man. It was
They're
just
getting out
very
of jail,
poor.
but they haven't been playing well.
But yeah, it was strange. But AJ Brimson was awesome. I thought he was a great player.
Awesome.
Now, to get the best out of the Titans, you've got to keep both him and Jaden Campbell in the side. So
How?
you put Campbell at fullback and put AJ in the halves with Foran.
6.
It's easy.
How-
You've got to do it.
How good was Kieran Foran?
In Kieran Foran's, yeah, he's
He
killing it.
couldn't walk at the end of the game. He was down on his
so
hunches, poor guy.
So
but
good.
geez, he turned back the clock.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if AJ gets an origin berth, mate. He's a utility. You can put him anywhere in the back line. I
Queenslander.
think he played for Queensland. So he had 183 metres, 5 tackle breaks, 2 tries. Outstanding. Yeah, I just didn't see that coming. I think I looked at my tipping comp and I think no one would have tipped Titans. Everyone expected Warriors. Anzac Day in New Zealand after a loss. Like everything pointed to them. But Titans, they completed 95% in the first half, 21 out of 22, man. So they laid the platform
They've
perfectly.
come so close the last
They
3-4
have.
weeks.
Exactly.
It was just nice to see Desi with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Although it's rare you get a smile out of Desi, even when he's winning.
Yeah, and Clockstad had he played his 100th game, he scored the opening try, which was good. He ran 262 metres, playing good this year. And our man Fanil Blake scored that nice try, 200 metres plus. Continues to shine, Disney. So he's doing well.
He's very good. He's very good. You know what, Nicola? I know they've been losing and we've been having a bit of a giggle and a laugh, but they haven't been playing really bad.
No.
They haven't been playing bad. And it was a matter of time.
Probably the first month of the
Yeah,
competition.
the first
two
month of
games.
conceding
Yeah.
28 minimum, yeah. So
The first 2 games maybe, but after that, you can see the Desi style coming in, and they're boring. Yeah, you know what? How many sets they complete?
90% or something.
90%.
95% in the first half.
Yep,
21 out of 22.
That rings of Des.
Yeah.
That's theirs, yeah.
They suck all the fun out of the team
Yeah.
and complete high, kick and chase and
It
compete.
works. It works.
It works.
Yeah.
And you know what? Give them to the end of the year, and there's a team here, and Desi's style will suit the team. But that's one way. And good, they won a game. The Titans, great. We're all happy. I'm worried.
Why?
I'm worried about the Wars.
The Warriors?
The Warriors. I'm worried. And why? I've been saying for the last month they haven't been playing good, but they've been bumbling, stumbling, and getting out of jail, and we've been sugarcoating things. But you know
It's
what?
a real test for the coach now, obviously.
You know what? In glimpses, they look spectacular. It's still one. It's still the Warriors are still one of my favourite teams to watch because of the shapes that they play. But you know what? You can put shapes all you want. If they don't tackle, Nicola, if they don't tackle and get grit and grimy and dirty, you know what I mean? They're not going to win games.
Let's not forget, it's the coach's second season. So, again, finding this consistency takes time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what?
They overachieved last season.
They've got, well, I don't know. They've got an opportunity here, Nicola, not only to make the semi-finals, but to take a whole country with them.
Yeah.
To change the course of a code in a country. And I'm not saying they're not trying. Please, they're trying as hard as, and they're training and as hard as any team out there. But they've got an opportunity. They've got this bunch of players and his coach in the next 5 years could be idolised for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So, look, let's watch this space because I still believe that they'll come good. There's too much quality there, but they haven't been playing well.
Yeah.
Haven't been playing well.
Before you get to the next game, we've just got a game in the background. It's a historic game, this one, because even though New South Wales flogged this Queensland team, there's a young kid called Cameron Smith who made his debut in that game.
Is this the game?
It's 2005.
And then after this game here, Cameron Smith took over.
They
So
didn't win
this
the
was
game.
our last victory, like our series
This is a
win.
2005 State of Origin. I think it's
State
game
of Origin.
2, is it?
Game 3, I think it was.
And
Hey,
it's 32-0.
was that the warm?
32. Yeah, I don't know, but he made his debut that game, and we never looked back. Queensland never looked back after
Yeah.
that. Anyway, let's go next game.
I've got a question
Do we
for you
have
about
to?
the next game. So, obviously, the Roosters 60 points to 18 over the Dragons. That hurts just saying it. But I've got a question for you. It's a Dragons home game, but it was at Allianz Stadium. Why?
That's right. I don't know. That's how it worked out with the Anzac game. They have it at a big stadium, so they chose there. They got all the tickets. They got all the money.
It should have been a Roosters home game. then.
It should have, but that's how it happens.
What happened?
Well, look,
You guys were there.
mate. Saints were in it for until the last 70 minutes of the game, but they were in it.
It's similar problem to Parramatta. It's that crucial 40 minutes before and after half time. Right?
Terrible, man.
Tell us about the atmosphere.
But the atmosphere was
Set the whole
fantastic.
game up. The walk to the ground,
The walk,
the
to
company.
it was just everyone was there. We had some great company. A couple of the boys there, a few of the boys there to watch us get demoralised. But it was a great day. The march, whatever the ceremony they did for the diggers was fantastic. It was just the whole thing. The whole crowd was buzzing. Great atmosphere. We were copping it from Roosters fans, which was great. They deserve it. As we were walking up the stairs, George, we saw a big sign. What was it? What was the sign, George? We play to win premierships.
Oh yeah. They got a trophy room in the complex in the stadium.
Yeah.
And there's this big sign over all the trophies. You got all the trophies that they've won.
Yeah.
And there's a big sign above the trophies. We play to win. We got to go. We got to go.
And then you got Brad Arthur who gets his players to drive themselves to the grand final.
Look, these are a club set up to win rings.
But I realised something that during that game, the Dragons, you know what? They're just a TV series, man. They are. The Dragons are a TV series.
What do you mean?
We're always waiting for the next season. It's just ridiculous. That's what I am. We're always waiting. What's going to happen next season? Because I'm just sick of it. And I don't understand. We've won 4 and lost 4, which is pretty good because there's
50%.
there's a few teams that haven't done that.
Yeah.
But we've got the third worst for and against because the 4 games we've lost, we've been flogged.
Okay.
There's nothing in between. I don't mind losing by 2, 4, 6.
There's a big gap between your best and your worst.
Huge
but
gap.
that will narrow over the course of the duration of the season.
It did, yeah.
It will.
It will, yeah, for sure. Look, losing Sully in the first second.
Yes, that was a huge loss.
Huge, because then they had to make adjustments. They put Eisenhuth, who plays in the back row, in the centres, and the Roosters just dominated, went through that side and got to a nice, comfortable lead, and then decided to play everywhere else.
And now, because of Moses Sully, they're going to ban the kickoff.
They're going to do that anyway.
Oh,
they're going to do that anyway.
That was ridiculous.
That was a big loss, actually. That was a huge loss.
It was.
Start of the game.
It was a massive loss. Well, look, we scored the first try after that, which was impressive. I thought, here we go. We might see something special today. But then, Roosters were just fantastic.
They were red hot. Sam Walker, how good was he?
It was great.
Yeah. He got the medal. He got the medal for the game.
He did. He did. And he deserved
10
it.
goals as well.
10 goals, yeah.
He deserved it.
I just count him now, 10 goals, yeah.
Now, Ben Hunt kicked for 422 metres and Sam Walker for 322. But those 322 metres produced 60 points.
It's the quality of the kick.
Exactly. He just totally outplayed. I wish I had a Sam Walker and rather Ben Hunt, because when we were close to the line, Ben Hunt does nothing. There was times where he even gave it to the front rower to get tackled. Like it was very poor. From when he's 20 metres out, he looks a bit more settled, but when he's close, he just looks clueless.
Any positives out of this one?
The only positive was the Roosters. They came back to form. They were fantastic to watch. Egan Butcher, flick pass, back roll, doing a nice flick pass back from his back to set up a try was great. But my highlight was watching Sam Walker. I thought he was dynamic. And do you reckon he'll get the jersey? Queensland? Oh, no, not with DC and that, but he'll be there soon, I think. That's for sure.
Ari told us the big picture. I'm going to get a little bit nerdy now. So everybody switch off. We're going to grab a coffee. I want to second the atmosphere was something special. And I've been to a few Anzac Day games, but this one felt just that little extra special. Ari, am I wrong?
Was it the first time it was at that ground?
Maybe.
Anzac?
Maybe.
Mate, it was nice. Maybe. Yeah, it was great.
So great atmosphere, and like we said previously, every time I hear that bugle going on, it just puts chills up my spine, Nicola. It just chills up my spine. So it was all set up. Like I said, I saw people I haven't seen for years. I saw my cousins, my godson, just everybody seemed to be there in Sydney, or everybody I know. And as Adi said, great company. Now for the game. We've been saying that Roosters, they're not right this year. They're in and out of games. They're a bit clunky. And everything is right. Everything what we said have been right. On this day, in this stadium, in this atmosphere, it all came together. And unfortunately, St. George was just caught in the crossfire, Nicola. Okay? From the first play of the ball, the Roosters won the ruck. Yeah. And I don't think St. George won one ruck in over 80 minutes.
Even before the first play of the ball, the Dragons lost their centre.
Well, yeah.
This doesn't help.
Yeah. I want to talk about a few things, what they did or what Robbo done. And off camera and off the microphone, I said that Robbo's a genius. And let me tell you why. Some coaches have one style, and that's what they want to play. Maybe not. I'm not saying that they can't change it. They like playing that style. They want to play that power game. They want to go into the drain. They want to make the meters, give it to the 7, so he can do his things on the edges. Okay, no problems. They get different players, and they still play that one style. Robbo's got a conundrum because Robbo has got a star-studded team, an absolutely star-studded team. When you look at them on paper, the first thing we said was, Adi, they're going to win a premiership. Yeah. At February, we said they're going to win a premiership. I still think they're going to win a premiership. I really do. Okay. The only problem is that they've got a 9, which isn't a 9. Okay. But he's a really good player. How do we bring the best out of this kid? Okay. Yeah. No problems. Instead of hitting the drain, or hitting the A's, guess what? We're going to hit the B's and the C's. So the first big popper who's going to run, Hargraves. It's going to be a really long pass into the C's. We're going to win the play of the ball because guess what? He's not running straight into the ruck with 4 people on him. He's running on the edges. He's got up straight away. He's won the ruck, okay? Guess what? We go back to where we came from. We're going to win the ruck there again. Guess what's happened? The line shortens.
Yeah.
We're on outside shoulders, okay? And we're throwing the ball out, and there's space galore. And how about the defensive, the defense, okay? When the other team, when St. George, would go wide, okay? So East go 2 steps up, hold, and then when there's runners, they slide hard. Why they slide hard? So they corral the runner into the corner, okay? And if they play an XY, or as we say shift shape, okay? Guess what? Someone comes through the line and I play Hollywood.
But is it fair to say
I play Hollywood?
Is it a fair comment to say most clubs defend like that, but they don't do it as well?
Okay, yes.
They don't execute it as well as the Roosters.
So good question. So I did a few things. So that style of attack, number one, only one club plays it. Yeah. Okay, and I said that the Bulldogs haven't got a big pack, so all we need is one out of that first 3 tackles. Yeah. One tackle to go forward, then we can shoot wide. Yeah. Okay, so they play wide. The Marnie, the first ball he throws is off B's and C's. Okay, so they play similar. Roosters play it much better. Now the defence, I looked at most of the games, trying to find that's a hard slide. They slide. Every team slides, but not that hard slide.
But that's what I meant. Like they try and do it, but they don't execute it as well.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they try to do it, but they're not. Well,
I don't know. I'm asking.
You're probably right. They all do it, but Roosters have taken this slide to some sort of new level. Okay, so they're trying to do 2 things. Number one, they figure that we can push them to the sideline and corral them, and when we slide so hard and there's a runner coming through off a shift shape of an XY, like I said, okay, well I'll hit him. I'll run into him because I'm sliding and he's coming straight, and I'll do a Hollywood. Guess what? They can score all they want.
Yeah,
I can get hit in Bathurst, and it's going to be a penalty. So I enjoyed the game. It was great. Sorry for being nerdy, but I had to bring it up because Robbo is a genius.
But we do need
Robbo is a genius.
Before we start handing out caps, we need to see it for a few weeks in a row.
Well, this is the first time.
Because we haven't yet.
This is the first game that they got it right all through the game.
Yeah.
This is the first time they got it right all through the game. And let me give Dom Young. I mean, I hated them buying a superstar, but Dom Young is just starting this year. This is his first game back.
Yeah.
He scored a try. He looked very dangerous. And can I say, a young man who was injured, who came back, Connor Watson.
Yes, he was great.
He's
a great player.
Good player, Nicola. A very good player. And if Crichton...
Crichton was good too.
If Crichton isn't considered or in the conversation for a Blues jersey, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Yeah.
I really will be a monkey's uncle. And of course,
would you have him in front of Cameron Murray?
No, I wouldn't. But maybe on the bench. And the man in question, I believe the man that some of this has come from, Brandon Smith, is outstanding.
Yeah,
he really is an outstanding rugby league player. You know what I mean? But anyway, I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, from the score was disappointing for St. George. But the day as a day, how good was it? It was outstanding. Yeah.
Well, another similar score in the last game on Thursday
Nick,
night.
Before we go to the next one, 3-2-1s. I just want to give the Manolis 3-2-1s. For the Warriors-Titans game, 3 points went to AJ Brimson, 2 went to Disney, Aladdin for Noel Blake, and for David Fafita got the 1 point.
Yes.
He had a good game.
Absolutely did.
For the Dragons Roosters, we had Sam Walker, 3 points.
Yep.
I thought Joseph Manu was really good. So did Manoli. He was fantastic. He got the 2 points, and Nat Butcher got the 1.
Can I go into Manu? You know what? He's been underutilized. Number one, it's a shame he's going, But it's a damn shame that he hasn't got the ball in his hands more. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to play fullback. There could be shapes that they play to give him the ball. Please, Robbo, get this guy, put the ball in his hands, because Manu can do things that other rugby league players cannot do. He's a type of guy which when you lose him, he will be felt. So just give him the ball, Robbo. Give him the ball, please.
Who were the 3-2-1s from the Dragons Roosters game?
It was Sam Walker was the first one, 3 points, and Joseph Manu got the 2 points, and Nat Butcher got the 1 point.
My bad. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yep.
And again, so going on to the last game, the Storm 54, Rabbitohs 20.
Wow. Munster is back. The whole spine played really well.
Yeah.
It was a great performance by the Storm. They look very nice. They're building nicely. This was the round of 2 brain snaps. One of them was in this game. We'll talk about the other one in the other game. Tane Milne, 2 seconds to go. The game was nearly over.
Guy's an idiot.
Tries to break a guy's legs. I don't know what he was doing. He attacked the guy's legs. They weren't even close to winning or anything.
I think he got 2 games, did he?
He got 2 games out of it.
Is that all?
Yeah, terrible. So,
none of these are even a quarter as bad as calling someone a monkey, George.
Don't start me, please.
Yeah.
Don't start me, Nicola.
So the first half finished at 32-4 Storm, and we thought it's going to be a record score here.
Yeah.
Finished 50-20. So when you think about 18-16...
54-20.
Was it 54-20?
Yeah.
Oh, that was 50.
Yeah.
Okay, so finished 22-16 in the second half. So South did muster some, to make the score some respectable in the second half. At least they came close. But this was all about Munster coming back.
Yeah.
He was outstanding.
Yeah.
3 try assists, kicks, 2 try assists off kicks, and 2 late tackle breaks. So very good player. And I've got to give another shout out to this guy. I know I've talked to him a few times, but that Elise Katoa, the back row from the Storm, he's such a good player. 140 metres, 4 tackle breaks. He's a gun. He's been a really good performer for the Storm this year, consistently.
Yeah.
George, are we going to see Cody at 7 and Jack at 6 this week?
I don't think so. I don't think they'll move.
What did you make of this one?
I think South's played 20 minutes. I think South's are a mess. I think Storm are building nicely. Welcome back, Cameron Munster, Jerome Hughes.
It's his 200th game this week, Munster. Yeah.
Ryan Pappenhausen.
Oh yes.
Yeah. He's that man again.
He's back.
He will be that man even more. Unwanted apparently at the Bulldogs, Nicola, not good enough. Nick Meaney, not good enough.
He's been so good at Melbourne, hasn't he?
He's great.
He's been
and he
very
re-signed too recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been really, really good. So is Remus Smith.
And so is Reece Smith.
Yeah.
Not wanted again at the Bulldogs. And I can see why. Nicola. You know what? An underrated forward pack, but a pack that do their job.
Yeah.
And do their job very well, Nicola. But look, I think the score says it all here.
Yeah.
I think the score says it all.
3-2-1s?
3-2-1. Cameron Munster got the 3 points. Pappenhausen got the 2. And Harry Grant was also great. So that's the spine.
Yeah.
It's working nicely, isn't it? Yeah. Bellamy's got him going good.
Yeah.
So on Friday, there was only one game. The Seagulls 32, Eels 18. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm happy to say I didn't watch this because we were out for dinner.
I didn't watch it. No, so I'm
I did watch the highlights.
Did you watch the shorts?
So Artie, tell us what you saw.
Well, from what I saw, this was brain snap number 2. So we had Tane Milne brain snap number 1, and then we had brain snap number 2, which is Mako Sivo. Look, Parramatta started really well, and they were leading 14-6, I think, at halftime. So they were starting to play a lot better than last week. And I thought, Parramatta might do something here. Unfortunately for Parramatta, you got the 2 sin bins. You got Benasini got sin binned.
Even to be fair, in the first sin bin, Parramatta actually scored.
Yeah,
so that didn't work against them.
It didn't. That's true.
Even though it was a bad call because they should have received the penalty instead of being penalised. We talked about that before, but anyway.
Exactly, yeah. But then the Sivo one, that's where they scored a couple.
Yeah.
And then they just sort of ran away with it after that. Well,
it was the last 10 minutes.
It was the last 10, and they sort of got the win out of that. But up until then,
it was a dumb. The guy scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does something silly like that. It was
Exactly. So that's a good case of being from
a
hero to
coach killer,
villain,
isn't it?
Yeah, hero to villain, huh? But it was just a shame that happened. That Olakawatu was another sin bin. So there was 3 sin bins in this game.
What did Kolatu do?
The lifting tackle.
The lifting,
Lifting
it was
tackle.
it was a weird tackle because when you look at the arms weren't between the legs. It's the way he landed. It's like a lifting tackle, but then they slammed him to the ground.
He landed on his head.
He landed on his head, but the way he landed was awful. So he got 1 week or 2 weeks this week, I think. They just announced it to.
I know Cherry Evans has been offered 2 weeks with the early plea. I don't know if they're going to challenge it or not.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I'm not sure about Olukwatu.
But I was impressed with the youngster, Ethan Sanders. I thought he did well. A lot of tackling. I think he did about 33 tackles in the game. But they were running at him and he was handling it. So I think they've got to persist with this guy until Moses comes back. I thought it was really good. And Dylan Brown, he stood up. I thought he had one of his better games
Brown
too.
is good.
So
Brown is very good.
this Ethan Sanders will be a good buy for the Raiders because apparently he's advised the guys that he's signed. So
That's why.
it's all looking good, guys. But yeah, and that's it for me,
3,
mate.
2, 1.
3, 2, 1. So you didn't watch your game at all?
I didn't watch
Well,
it. I watched the shorts. I watched the shorts.
We were in
Oh,
a
okay.
restaurant and it was on the TV behind us.
Oh, okay.
So I kept turning over to check the score, but we couldn't really see it.
Can I just say it was
I can't watch a game after I know the result.
Yeah. Can I just say there were 17,500 people at 4 Pines, which I think all grounds were pretty much full.
But they've been doing Manly are having a really good year so far.
When they play well, people turn up.
Yeah. Well, look, the main guys that stood out were Daly Cherry Evans. He was fantastic again. He's having a great season. Hey?
Yeah.
How old is he? 39, 40, 55? I don't know.
He'll be up there with Manoli's.
He's up
points,
there, definitely, yeah. So you got Daly Cherry Evans with 3. Trebojevic, Tommy Turbo had a good game, and Dylan Brown for the Parramatta Eels. I thought he was their best, or Manoli thought he was their best. So they got the 3-2-1.
No points for Brad Arthur.
No points for Brad Arthur.
Poor Brad.
Poor Brad.
Saturday evening, first game, Tigers and the Broncos. Look, Broncos 34 points to 10 at Campbelltown.
Yeah.
Tigers, I think it's their 10th loss in a row at Campbelltown. So they've got a really bad record there. Benji was asked about it in the press conference. They said, would you consider moving the remainder of your games to Leichhardt? And he said, that's a stupid question, man. Don't ask me that. Yeah,
yes, yeah, he did.
it's like Jack Gibson said it, and it's been, ever since he said it, I've heard it repeated so many times. When they asked him about the home ground advantage, he said it's just a patch of grass with a fence around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, look, the Broncos, that flair was there again, even without Ezra Mann. Obviously, they had Reynolds and Haas back, but they were walking wounded by the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that Reece Walsh, man,
How good is he?
So Parramatta have the bye this week, and then we've got the Broncos. I'm terrified of that.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see them live. I can't wait to see them
They're
live.
so good.
Yeah.
See them live.
I don't think the Tigers did much wrong.
They didn't. They played well. They actually played well.
Right,
I thought they played well. They were in the fight.
Yeah.
Even don't worry about the score. They were in the fight right to the end. They're the only team, the Broncos, because they're so athletic. They're so athletical. And look, I'm excited when I'm talking about them. They go on the rugby league field, Nicola. And I'm sure that Kev is giving them structure and giving them a game plan. And guess what? They throw it out.
They just
They throw it out and they play what they see in front of them. And you know why? You can't coach
they're
Reece
so
Walsh.
fast.
They're athletic.
That back line is so
They're the quickest
fast.
team in the
and you got
comp.
an old man in the middle
Direct and everything.
who took an intercept and he couldn't even run. I had to throw. You see that, Reynolds? He caught the intercept and he couldn't run.
He stopped. Yeah.
But he's
Amazing.
just to use the soccer analogy,
Plays chess.
he's the libero playing in the centre circle.
Yeah.
He just
And
plays
he just
chess.
controls the game from that centre circle.
Yeah.
He's the rugby league equivalent.
He's a magician.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what was funny? I was watching the footy
Isn't it
show.
funny? South could use him right about now. Eh?
Absolutely. I'm thinking,
couple of
why
years.
going by Dodd? You had someone there anyway. Anyway.
It's funny because I was watching the footy show on Sunday and Billy Slater was on the show. And he refers to, he said, Billy Slater said, Adam Reynolds is a superstar. He loves him. All of Queensland love Adam Reynolds except New South Wales.
Yeah.
We've picked him twice in
He's barely
2016.
played. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Billy Slater, I reckon all of Queensland are laughing at us because the guy is a magician. He can control a game, and that's what you want from him. But Reece Walsh, can you believe he's only 21? This is his second full year, isn't it?
Freak, man. I told you guys in the first episode, he's my Dalian Player of the Year.
Oh, God.
We haven't seen the best of him.
Let me explain what he does to people off the field. Forget what he does on the field. We know what he does on the field. He's a freak and he's going to get better. Okay, he puts smiles on people's faces. Okay, he makes people feel good. Okay, my 22-year-old son, who, let's say, doesn't love rugby league. The only reason he knows rugby league, the boy wonder, is because of us. Okay, he'll sit down and watch Reece, not watch rugby league. Wait.
Watch Reece.
For Reece to do something. Guess what? Reece never lets down. He always does something.
Yeah.
This kid's a superstar. And I've got a question for you guys in the tidbits about Reece. But this team, I'm going to just be very quick because we've talked ad nauseum about the Broncos. Tigers were good and they're improving, and I love seeing it. They just happened to play. Yeah, the Broncos. And you know, the Broncos weren't at the best either.
Yeah.
This team is getting better and better and better. They play unstructured, which is very scary for a lot of teams because how do you do video on unstructured? Yeah, how do you do video with unstructured? So what they do is, we've heard this, but now we've seen it. Play eyes up. This is it. This is eyes up. This is eyes up. And
this is without Ezra Mann too.
Without Ezra Mann, and the caviar or the sugar you sprinkle over the cake is Reece Walsh. How do you stop Reece Walsh? What did
with a shovel to the back
exactly?
Of the head.
What I love this. What did Bellamy say? John Kreese. We know what he does. How do you stop it? We know what he does, but how do you stop it? Yeah, and he said that really about Penrith. We know what they do, but how do you stop them? Well, I'm sure if you ask him about Reece Walsh, he'll say exactly the same thing. And you know what? I can't wait to see Reece Walsh next week.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I don't care if they win or not. I can't wait to watch him play.
Sensational player. That was the second sellout crowd at Campbelltown for the Tigers, and they haven't won there for ages. They just can't win there, the poor boys.
Benji hasn't found his sunglasses?
No, still haven't found it. But
3-2-1s for this
3-2-1s for this one. We had Adam Reynolds. He got the first 3 points. Reece Walsh got the 2, and 1 point went to, and he's consistently good, Patrick Carrigan.
Yeah, he was great.
He's great, isn't he? This
he was
guy?
Really good.
He's always in the Daily M's. And he's always in the minorities points. This guy, he might be getting a 1 or a 2 point, but he's been great.
He's gone to a different level this year. Carrigan, when Huss was out, he thought he had to step up. He had to step up, and he just hasn't stopped stepping up. So look, what can I say? There's no words to describe this team. You know what I mean? There is no words to describe this team.
The second game on Saturday night up in North Queensland, the Cowboys went down in a close one, 26-20 against the Panthers.
Penrith, great coming off the bye. They led 24-4 up to the 44th minute. Brian To'o's 100th game, and he broke the record for 21 tackle busts in one game. Wow! And that's just what you expect from this guy. He was a machine. Yeah, he's definitely a shoo-in for New South Wales. That's one winger that you don't have to worry about. He's picked already. And Nathan Cleary was the first player to kick 600 goals for the Panthers. Wow! So a couple of record breakers there. But yeah, look. First half, Cowboys got a few bad decisions against them in the back end of the first half. But in the second half, they evened the ledger. They got a lot of good calls, a lot of repeat sets.
That always happens.
So they evened the ledger. But yeah, it was a funny game. But the Cowboys did well to come back. It could have got a lot worse at 24-4. But the last 36 minutes,
off the pedal a little bit.
You can say that, but I thought the Cowboys were just they saw a bit of momentum there, and they just kept playing it. But yeah, it was okay. I thought Taumalolo's best game he's had for a while, actually, I should say. He was good. It's good to see him come back to some form. And Tommy Dearden, doesn't that guy, he's a machine. He just doesn't stop.
And Ricky. Nicola,
And
if you're a Cowboy supporter, sorry, I'll cut you off. Sorry.
No. I was going to say that's his good game. Next week will be his bad game. That's how he's been going. Yeah.
If you're a Cowboy supporter, Nicola, you'll be banging your head against a brick wall, trying to work out where was his team.
Yeah.
Where was his team? I suggest to you the wrong team won. That's
Second half. Yeah.
That's how good I think these Cowboys went, Nicola. They were outstanding. And I hope they keep on playing like that because they were so entertaining to watch. Yeah. This was my favourite game of all the weekend. Yeah. This was my favourite game.
Not the Gold Coast?
Actually, they were good too.
Yeah.
But this was my favourite game. And let me tell you, remember when Ivan got cut?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Penrith have been cut. And they've all seen blood. And no one's scared of Penrith anymore. But you know what? They're good enough to keep on winning games.
They're still winning,
Yeah, they're good enough to win games. They don't win comprehensively anymore. Their defense is what saves them.
But you don't win the comp in April either, right?
I know you don't. Let's see how the year unfolds because we just waxed lyrical about the Broncos, and we should, but doesn't get one in April or May. Their defense is what gets them over their line. They're still a damn good rugby league team. And you know exactly what you're going to get every week.
For me, I said it last week about the Roosters. These are the teams that scare me the most. The ones who aren't playing well, but doing enough to win. Melbourne's another one, with the exception of last weekend.
Yeah.
This time of the year, they know how to time their run.
Banking points.
You know,
Just bank points. That's all. Yeah. That's all you need to do.
I like Penrith's defence. I thought Penrith's defence was really good.
Yeah,
though.
and that's what
their
I said.
attack might have been a bit clunky, but their defence was great.
You know what the problem is, and the defensive
it was also
structures.
Cleary's first game back in a while.
Yeah. No, Cleary actually went okay. Yeah. He went pretty good actually. But in the general sense, for Penrith now, okay, their defence keeps them in the games. Their real problem is their forwards. That's their problem. Because they get out of dirty ball really easy. Their backs get them out of dirty ball really easy. The middle part of the ground where the forwards are supposed to dominate and like have dominated previously. Well, Luke Garner, Lindsay Smith,
Liam Henry or something.
Yes,
Liam Henry,
whatever his name is.
Yeah,
off the bench, Henry. They're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not what they had. Unfortunately, I think. One of them got injured. Sorensen got injured.
I think so. Yeah.
So
right.
we lose Sorensen, which is a big thing. And young Gaia, you know, he's probably a half a season off to be a real first grade. But a lot of potential. But this North Queensland team, Nicola, you know, Kaida, Nanai, my God, Walsh, Jordan. And you didn't mention Adi. You didn't mention the Chad. The Chad had his best game of the whole year.
Too, yeah.
They lost Nicola. They shouldn't have lost. And I hope they win next week. I hope they go on a tear because this North Queensland team, a damn good team.
It was 4 tries each.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was an even Stevens game, and gee, I enjoyed this game. You know why I enjoyed it? It was more a grind fest.
Yeah,
it was a grind fest. They were both punching each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's going to win? Did you know who was going to win?
I thought Penrith I thought their defence will hold them out. Yeah. At the end, I thought if Cowboys can win this, it'll be pretty good, and they came close, man.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I thought they were the better team. Anyway, I loved it.
That was good.
I enjoyed it, Nicola.
3-2-1s?
3-2-1s for that one was 3 points went to Brian To'o. Yeah. Dylan Edwards got the 2, and Tommy Dearden got the 1 point.
Dylan Edwards just keeps rolling.
He's good.
Dylan Edwards, he just keeps rolling.
You know what? I'm going to mention it. This is going to kill me. He should be in blue, and not in number 2, in number 1. Okay, we love Teddy. We know what Teddy's done. Absolute legend, not only of Roosters, not only of Blues, but of Australia. But if you're serious about winning a series,
if he wasn't the captain,
you know what? I like winning.
Yeah.
And who's the best number 1 in the game at the moment? I know who it is. You know who it is too.
So this is the issue.
You know who it is too.
Yeah, but this is the issue with New South Wales and Queensland after this, right? Queensland's pick and stick. If the guy's playing well, they'll stick with him. New South Wales, what reason have we got to sack Teddy? He's the captain. He's played pretty well.
I'll tell you
Why would Queensland wouldn't be doing this? There wouldn't be a question here. They'd keep Teddy. But New South Wales, they seem to like.
Well, they won't. They wouldn't. I'll tell you why. Let's talk about Origin, okay, and the game.
Yeah.
Teddy, Brown, Dylan Edwards his game is Origin all over it. It's got stamped all over it. Sure. Tough carries, okay, lots of energy. Okay, so Teddy's going to come through the middle, okay, and bounce around like a ping pong. Yeah, no problem, great, okay. But what do we need in Origin? We need strong carries. We need support, supporting the forwards. Okay, and we need a good defense. I'm telling you now, he won't do it. He won't pick.
What about
Teddy.
Turbo?
I
thought he'd be next in line ahead of Teddy.
I would have.
No, winger at fullback. You'd put Tommy Turbo at fullback.
I wouldn't have Turbo.
Yeah,
but anyway,
why not?
Just me.
He's got the good carries. Look at Manly. He's been playing all right.
Yeah, no, he is. He's very good. He's very good.
Dylan Edwards is great too. Don't get me wrong.
Winning. I like winning, Artie.
The reality is
that's just me.
I think the reality is that Manu performed better at fullback for the Roosters than Tedesco has this season. Last week, true or not?
Yeah, it's true, but I don't give up on a champion.
They won't move Teddy, but
no, and so they shouldn't.
The reality is, Manu performed better.
Easy question: Roosters are dealing with Manu or Teddy to bring him to the club. Who would you want? Simple question.
If I had to keep one, I'd keep Manu for sure because of the age.
In the last 10 years, I would have said Teddy.
I would have said Teddy.
Exactly.
2 years ago.
He's around 30 as well now, isn't he? How old is he? Yeah.
33.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
I'm surprised
he's still outstanding. This is what kills me.
No,
he's an outstanding rugby league player. But guess what? What Edwards does is tailor-made for Origin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's why you got Toho. Yeah. That's why you don't pick that St George winger. Or the South Sydney
Alex Johnson.
How can you?
Because the carries, what that you have to do in an Origin game, all you do is come out of dirty ball. The back three come out of dirty ball. That's all they do.
I have a question for you. How can you win? How can you play in 4 grand finals in a row, win 3 of them, and not get picked for New South Wales?
Yeah.
I think he was picked. Was he on the wing or something? I'm not sure.
I don't think
he was
so.
a winger. No,
I think it was
Australia.
Australia.
Okay. I don't know, but
all right. So
Jack should be there too.
3-2-1. He's retired from rep.
Oh, we said the 3-2-1, mate.
Oh, we did. Okay, sorry, my bad. Moving on. Sunday, the Dolphins at home in Brisbane went down to the Knights without Ponga, 18 points to 14. I don't think too many people saw this one coming.
No. Talk to me, Artie.
No, the Knights survived the late scare. They were leading 18-4 or something at one stage, and then 18-6 with a few minutes to go, and then they scored 2 late tries to make it respectable. But the Knights had it in control.
I think so.
All through the game.
I think so.
Newcastle completed 22 of their first sets of 88% in the first half, so it was pretty good. But yeah, it was a controlled performance by the Knights, and there was a young kid who made his debut for Kellen Ponga. What was his name again?
Armstrong. David Armstrong.
He went pretty well.
He did pretty good.
He went so well, I even remember the name.
Yeah, he did very well. So it was good to see him. I think he scored the first try for the Knights, which was really good. And yeah, well-deserved win by the Knights.
Gay guy.
He had a good game.
Gay guy turned back the clock, Nicola, and captained the team.
Yeah.
And very proud captain. Thank God, Carl Peace-Paul, and I was shattered last week. He had another outstanding game. And you know what? Cut long story short, the Knights were on top for 90% of the game.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Dolphins fought hard, but on the day, Knights went out there to win. I think Jed Cartwright got injured, came on and got injured straight away.
Yeah.
Is that a season injury one?
I think so, yeah. I think he might be out. And the 2 Bromwich brothers got injured too during that game, so the Dolphins got a bit of an injury crisis.
They were celebrating
They were already
a
missing
birthday.
a bunch of players.
Yeah,
I know,
I think the 2 brothers, the Safedi boys,
Yeah.
they were celebrating a birthday, weren't they?
Okay.
I didn't see anything there.
They're twins.
They're twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. But But anyway, yeah. Look, they're just that little bit better, Nicola, and that's all. The game didn't reach any great heights. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was a champagne game.
Yeah.
But they got 2 points, and that at this moment, what we say, bank your points.
And at the end of the day, George, what's his name? Asako missed those 2 conversions. He could have easily got into golden point in the end. So
And
they were lucky. It was a scare.
Yeah. And if he did get the golden point, I wouldn't have said it's not a golden point game.
Yeah.
But in general, Knights were just that little bit better, yeah?
They were.
Yeah, just that little bit better. I think so.
And a 3-2-1 for this one?
3-2-1. David Armstrong, on his debut, he was outstanding. So I gave him the 3. Dane Gagai got the 2. And I like the lock from the Dolphins, Max Platt. He was outstanding. He's
been good all season.
He's had 3 good games or 2 in a row. So, yeah,
he's got a
good little player.
He's got a famous father.
Yeah, David Platt.
Who played for the Broncos. So no wonder DNA strikes again, and his son is an outstanding rugby league player.
Yeah.
And closing out Anzac round at 4 p.m. on Sunday, we had in Canberra, the Raiders went down to the Sharks 40 points to 0.
I'm going to be scathing, so you go for it.
I was going to say, Cronulla just continued this sparkling start, mate, with a comprehensive victory. The first time Raiders have been held to 0 since round 2, 2013. So that's a big one, that one. Ricky Stewart celebrated. It was a milestone game for Ricky Stewart. It was his 500th game.
500, yeah.
So not the way he would have liked to celebrate that. But yeah, I'll let you go, hammer and tong, mate. But
no, not at all. They talk about Daniel Atkinson, the 5'8", who came in.
Yeah, he came in and covered up.
I think it's worth pointing out the Raiders are missing a lot of players, and they have a lot of youngsters who maybe are underdone. They're not ready yet for first grade.
Well,
and I don't think we know their plan is built around their youth, right?
Yes.
But I don't think Ricky was planning on having them all playing so soon, so early, so many of them at one time.
Yeah.
And like you said,
the squad is fairly thin to begin with, really. So when they lose 3 or 4 key players, it's a big dent.
Yeah.
It's a big dent.
Look at the youth. I don't think he wanted to play that much youth. I really don't. So we won't be scathing. I just want to point out that young Iro is just getting better and better.
He's great.
He's just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, famous name, but he's actually showing that he's going to be famous. How good is Ronaldo?
Yeah, he's
Seriously.
good. Yeah, he's good.
Nico's
He's got a mouth on him, though, eh? He does give a bit of cheek.
But we like grubs.
Yeah, we do. But sometimes he goes a bit too
far.
far sometimes. And he doesn't back it up sometimes.
He doesn't back. And that's what I said last time.
Gets him in trouble.
That's what I said last time. When you flap your lips, you got
to target who you're going to flap because sometimes they
well.
get you back.
Nico's just a good rugby league player.
Great player.
He's just a good rugby league player. He really is.
He's finding his groove.
Yeah. And big Hazelton.
Yes.
Thomas Hazelton. You know what? I'm waiting for him to break down or to have an ordinary game. He never does.
He's solid, isn't he?
He comes and he's a try scoring machine.
Yeah,
he's a try scoring machine. So look, Cronulla was outstanding. Canberra were, I won't go into it, a little bit let's say underwhelming. And let me just say again, and Adi's going to hate this, but Hudson Young is going out of his way not to wear blue this year. He's going out of his way. He's trying so hard.
Not his best game.
He's trying so hard, Nicola. He doesn't want blue. He doesn't like blue. You know that. You know what? There's a pizza shop.
I don't even think he's in the conversation.
There's a pizza shop right. Well, Adi brings it every week up. There's a pizza shop around his house. He loves that pizza. And you know what? How many times he can have it? Origin night. Origin night, Nicola. Origin night.
I think there's better options.
He's built for the game.
I don't disagree.
He's also Filipana. Plays bad for his club, good for the international probably. I don't know. But
Adi, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
He's Origin, made for Origin. But guess what?
Yeah,
right
but he's playing shit. He's not going to. Yeah, you got to get picked to make it to show.
Yeah.
3-2-1. Nico Hines obviously 3 points there. Jesse Ramian played really well in the centres and the hooker. Brayley continues.
How good is he?
He's great.
I tell you what,
He's really
you want to talk
good.
about a dark horse for Blues? One of the Brayley boys, please. They're both outstanding. They're both good.
Yeah, I know.
We might need a hooker who's under 30.
Yeah, true.
Coroside's been all right, though.
He's outstanding. Yeah, he's the one.
And the Bulldogs had the bye. George.
Yes.
Big win.
Thank God. Thank God. No stress this week.
Big win.
Just a leaderboard now with the Daily or Manoli Award. Sorry, the Suvla. The winner of that gets the Suvla. Dimitri is going to put a whole lamb on the spit.
Can't wait.
It's going to be great.
Wait.
Yeah, fantastic. And we're going to have those guests that we picked before as well from
Can't
that couple of weeks ago. Williami Kikau still leads on 10 points, but he's equal with Nico Hines.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both on 10. But shortly, just on 9 points behind them is Patrick Carrigan, Joseph Manu, and Daly Cherry Evans. And behind them is Zach Lomax and Tommy Turbo. So
good judgment, Manoli.
Good judgment.
Knows his rugby league. Knows his rugby
Good
league.
stuff.
Knows his rugby league.
That was a long one.
It was a long
over
one.
2 hours.
But it was enjoyable.
That's Controversy Corner for episode 70. And we'll see everyone back on part 2 of episode 70 for our Ask Artie segment. So
see you
until
later,
then,
guys.
boys.
Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.